I'm home. Why not? Well, daggum. We finally reached the freaking end of 2022 in all things simply predicting and wrestling as we look towards what could be in 2023. We had 5 pay-per-views in AEW, 3 pay-per-views in the rebranded Ring of Honor. We had a total of 12, count them, folks, 12 pay-per-views in Impact Wrestling and 17 total shows in WWE with one NJPW expedition. It certainly was an incredible year of professional wrestling predicting and discussion, to say the least. And so, my friends, my fellow horsemen, we come together to close out the year and discuss the results, our favorite moments, biggest rants, and what the fucks, and what we think's to come too. So, for those that actually are tuning into this, I say thank you. And welcome to all of you once again to the No DQ Galaxy Supreme Predicting family. You know what this is, for I am the simple man and booker. And my name is Noah Foster. Shout out to the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. Cheers, my brother. Hope everything's good with you in Cleveland. You need to get on one of these videos one of these days, my friend. Heck, drop in on this one if you want. Just let me know. And guys, we did it. Another year of professional wrestling big shows in the books across the 2 big companies and 2 other companies I decided to bring forward. And I brought attention to New Japan Pro Wrestling. You guys made it all the way to the end of 2022. So before I reveal everything, we just freeform and talk stuff and just have a little bit of last fun without the drinks. Sure, I got my champagne glass and sparkling grape juice. I'm saving that for Christmas and New Year's, though. You're brilliant. Okay, maybe I'll get a can of Mountain Dew while y'all are speaking. But
I was just going to say.
It's all good. And Colin, get the money, man. Do the work like you always do. Appreciate you, brother. Seriously, though, let's talk at some point on this video with you and I or get you involved in these panels next year, too. We'll figure out your schedule. Jeff, Chris, it's been fun. So let's go ahead and just break things down and have a last talk for 2022. We'll see who else joins. Shout out, of course, to a fellow honorary horseman, of course, Mark Griffith. Shout out to my fellow impactful duo cohort that was with the entire year of Impact Wrestling, chugging away. Cheers.
Chug.
The new normal, Jerry of 1,000 names, Jerry end of the year. Jerry, I think you and I definitely started something that we're going to keep up with, to say the least, when we head into the new year. So, and I know you're still on time because you have to work, but first off, man, thank you. And how are you?
It's been a day.
That sounds about right.
Last night I went to my daughter's Christmas recital for like this Christmas thing she was doing. 5 minutes into it, I hear a whoop, and this kid pukes on my back behind me. It kind of soured the rest of the evening. I couldn't really get past that. My ex-wife was like wiping off my back with like a bunch of baby wipes and everything. It was. I'm very, very proud of myself, though, because 1, I did not haul off and punch this kid in the face behind me, and 2, like I'm a chain reaction puker. It's like, so if I even get a whiff of it or even hear the sound, usually I'm like ralphing myself, but I didn't. So gross.
So this is when he does this. For not puking.
Well, I wasn't going to pat myself on the back at that moment. Now I've got
not at that moment. No,
crap on my hand.
Look, let's
this
not.
Kid looked like he ate Taco Bell before he came there. It's gross.
Christ almighty. Let's not insinuate.
Let's talk about wrestling.
Yeah, let's do that. So, again, for those that don't know, these guys have been with me for the duration of 2022. For multiple panels and predictions and discussions galore too. And me and Jay have honestly been the simple, impactful duo. We've been there since Hard to Kill and rode out all the way to Overdrive in the very end. And Colin right now is having a freaking moment here.
A draws moment.
Draws!
He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke!
Worse than Kyle O'Neal, JBL's hat.
Rest in peace, Vince McMahon's career.
Good God almighty.
Oh my God.
But yeah, Jerry, you and I, we definitely dedicate ourselves to Impact Wrestling, and it's been a hell of a lot of good time. But You definitely did a lot better in Impact than you did in WWE, to say the
Oh
least.
Lord, yes, I'm somewhere near the top 10.
Congrats to Scott Cater, and Kyle, my friends. You tied as well, followed by Jesse, Ashley, who is the supreme queen of predicting, in my opinion. Christopher Rotz, you were in the top 7, followed by Cindy G, Chris Willis, Trent Atkinson, our honorary horseman, Mark, and Jared, you were right there. And Jeff, you had some rough goings during the mid part here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
overall, y'all did participate in every show, and you gave it your best effort. So, what was some of y'all's favorite moments or shows or takeaways from Impact Wrestling's year, or favorite performers?
Well, let me start off by saying my favorite match, and I just got back into Impact over the summer,
Right.
because of course, not having Access TV.
You started
Right.
towards the end.
Yeah, not having Access TV till I got the Fire Stick, so now I'm able to watch it. Dude, Alexander versus Bailey, that hour match that they had a couple weeks
Right?
back. Oh my God! Unbelievable. That was probably the match of the year in my book, covering all companies. That has got to be by far match of the year. I was on the edge of my seat the whole hour watching it in amazement. Give all the props to Alexander and Bailey on this, because they were just unbelievable.
12 shows, and it turned out your match of the year was on freaking television after the poll went up, and they even reversed the poll to add that match. I mean, before that, I was stuck between Matcha Slamovics and Jordan Grace at Bound for Glory, or Trey Miguel versus People Mike Bailey at Against All Odds. The bottom line,
I'm gonna say the ladies had the feud of the year for Impact.
Yeah, exactly.
They really did.
Yeah, and again, she broke her streak, and then they followed it up with a last knockout standing match. I mean, Masha Slamovich is definitely a future knockouts champion, but when it came to workhorses of the industry this year, Masha Slamovich and Speedball Mike Bailey covered all the boxes, and Speedball definitely was my Impact Wrestler of the year. Phenomenal year by him. So, Jerry, again, you and I, we covered Impact the whole year. So what is some of your biggest takeaways or surprises?
Well, I was about to say, Speedball Mike Bailey impressed me more than anything else on this planet this year. He granted, I'd already known some of his work from his independent work and everything, and it was great. But not only was he kicking heads in, he actually got to marry Veda Scott. So that's one of those things where it's that guy's winning in life in general.
Winning.
So
yeah, that's fair. He's winning.
But also getting to see Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley both make returns to Impact, and both of them challenging for the title. And you had Frank Kazarian come back in as a sympathetic character to try and win the title. Josh Alexander had a lot of great competition this past year, and in each match was a contender for match of the year.
Yeah,
so that just says that he's gone past the whole teaming with Ethan Page, the whole Team Canada, whatever else thing, and now he's a ring general and a half. He's able to put on a match with anybody in that ring and make them look fantastic. So kudos to Josh Alexander for an awesome year, and anybody that he went up against, they did a fantastic job as well.
Yeah, Josh Alexander to me has definitely been an underrated Iron Man / champion of the industry, to say the least, surviving the likes of Alex Shelley, Eric Young, Eddie Edwards, Tomohiro Ishii, getting it off of Moose, and of course beating Frankie Kazarian, who came this close to winning the big one, and then of course culminating his year on TV with the 59-minute, 30-odd second classic with Speedball Mike Bailey. There's no telling how much further this man can go.
And we also still have to also give mad props to somebody people don't want to give mad props to, but they're going to have to. Moose. Moose was like an MVP this year. Any match that they needed him in, he was in. It didn't matter if he was eating the pinfall or just start another feud or whatever else, or just progressing somebody else's feud. He was just there for this company, and he did a fantastic job.
I would put Steve Macklin in the same conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I think he should be challenging.
Macklin had a breakout year this year. This was his year to say it's hey, I'm an Impact now. I'm going to be champion next year. And that's pretty much what's going to happen.
Deonna Purrazzo owned 2020 later half and all 2021, and Steve Macklin owned basically 2022 behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, this was your first exposure to Impact Wrestling, not just in predicting, but in viewing. So, anything you want to further add? And
Well,
as far as Josh Alexander goes, again, do you see Josh Alexander versus Steve Macklin maybe for the title in the early half of 2023?
I could see that happening, but I don't have Access TV, so I couldn't
That's fair.
even watch Impact. But my favorite moments were just being a part of the Impact Predictions League.
And you did very well. You went the distance.
I went very well. Hopefully, I could get into Impact in 2023. I know the first Impact pay-per-view is going to be the Hard to Kill event. That's on Friday the 13th. So that's
just
crazy.
perfect.
That's Friday
No
the
kidding,
13th.
right? Now,
And
I
look
mean,
at the eye as a
It's
casket.
confident, beautiful. I love
It's like
it.
a dude in a casket. That's awesome.
But
I feel like somebody's going to be resting in peace.
I was about to say, if they don't have a casket match during that pay per view, there's something seriously wrong.
Right.
And Drea Grace versus Marsha Slamovich would be perfect for like a casket match if they want to do it that way.
Well, so far
But,
we know we got Mickey James. It's career or title. It's Mickey James versus Jordan Grace for the Knockouts World
Shit.
Championship. John McGregor, who is now newly signed to Impact Wrestling. Yep, weather, folks. So it might be in and out. Stay
Yep.
safe, Jeff. I'll bring you in as you are able. Josh Alexander, of course, defends the Impact World Championship against Bully Ray in what is probably his most personal match to date. We also have Trey Miguel, the new face of the X Division. Chances are, I feel like he's going to defend this against Crazy Steve, based on what I've been seeing. And most recently made announcements, Jonathan Gresham joining Impact. We have Jonathan Gresham versus Eddie Edwards. So far, we got 4 matches booked, and you got to imagine that the Morrissey Machine Guns, spoiler alert, newly crowned Impact 3-time World Tag Team Champions will likely be defending their titles as well. So, again, this card is filling up, so we will see what happens. And overall, I'm looking very forward. Once again, folks, stay tuned for me and Jerry, the Simple Impactful Duo, taking you through all 2023. Jeff, you will have a fresh start. And Chris, just do your best. And if you have $5,
I love it, Chris. You do your best.
I'm just trying to
Well,
keep it too, man. See
Considering
where
he's the only one that can't watch it right now, and he's been guessing, and look where he ended up on the board. I mean,
That's
for
all you
just
need to do is guess.
guessing.
I mean,
Well,
You know,
I
that's
might
also
find a
me,
way
though.
to get Impact next year. And
Google.
if I want to, I'll watch it here and there. I have the Impact on YouTube, so I could watch clips on it.
Yep.
I know every Impact pay-per-view predictions video, I'll definitely be watching Noah Foster and the New Normal. I'll be watching that every single time there's an
I'm just
Impact.
glad I beat this guy because Jerry had some wild thoughts. But again, congrats to Scott, Kyle, and Jotzi. You guys did Impact proud.
I'm always going to have like my ideas of like, you know, what would be a better booking. And usually my better bookings are better than what they actually book. But I can never really argue with the end results that they have. I'm like, okay, that still makes sense. I'm okay with this. Lot of what Impact does is gives us something that we didn't know we needed. And we're like, all right, cool, that works. Versus like WWE, like nonsense finishes and everything else. Impact is just better at this. And it's because they got Scott D'Amore. It's because they got like they probably got Don Callis still walking around somewhere backstage helping out too. Scott D'Amore is just a genius. I think I see him as Canadian Paul Heyman.
That's you know, he does have that advocate / manipulative style to him. So I mean,
he knows how to take his talent that he has and does something special with them. Versus versus just leading them off in catering or something. He finds a way of using anybody that's in Impact the way they need to be used. And
Here's the catering.
well, I feel like the catering in Impact Wrestling is probably much smaller and probably not as active outside the actual culmination of tapings they do between.
They probably can't afford catering.
TV.
They probably can't afford catering.
Don't get me wrong.
They got like a dedicated caterer, probably.
Here's a
And of
cheeseburger.
course, Yeah, and of course, Impact has the open door policy where anybody can just come for be welcome. We've seen how much influence they've had now with New Japan Pro Wrestling. We've seen how many independent stars from Gut Check and beyond, the likes of Jason Hodge and John Schuyler and Jack Price. And rumor has it, one of my all-time favorites on the independent scene, Kylan King, might finally be coming in soon to mix it up with the knockouts. So again, there's promise in Impact Wrestling's 2023 as well, but they definitely delivered for me in 2022.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
congratulations to Josh Alexander, who definitely was the Iron Man. And as far as the predominant knockout, kind of hard to argue against Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
All right.
Not just in the knockouts division, pretty much any division she ever got put into.
Yeah, pretty much. Holla if you hear me. All right. Well, as we move on from there, again, AEW, it's been a fickle web of backstage politics, but the wrestling definitely held up. And again, you all definitely did your best across all 5 shows. And I love the fact now we got 5 shows. What a nice round number. Forbidden Door was definitely my standout this
That's
year.
an odd
And
number.
honestly, that probably was my favorite of the year because of what it stood for and what it brought and what it could set up going forward, the possibilities of this idea branching out and showing more interpromotional background, whether it's, Joshi Pro or something even further than that. Still waiting for Stardom. But shout out to the 252 participants that were involved in that league. And congratulations to Myra Maris and Sean Bully, who won that league with 54 points apiece, followed by three-way tie for second with Ashley Mel's, King Kieta, and Charlene Cudia. And again, my friend Kyle and Greg, you did very well going into 52 points. Between what you all did across all 5 of those shows, there was multiple pages for this league. And again, I think everybody that got involved, again, Chris, you were very close. You were definitely within the top 10. Mark had a bit of a rough time in the later going, along with good old Jam Jeff Beecham and my buddy Paul. And Jeff, again, sometimes AEW is your worst enemy. When I was looking at all your scores, I think AEW was your lowest.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to it.
Well, that's a fair point. But again, participation is key. And shout, of course, because No DQ, say yes, No DQ, they cover not only WWE, they cover AEW. So for the 3rd time in a row as leading and guiding and booking and scoring the Team No DQ AEW League, Sean Goshiku won this year, followed by Mikey T and Aaron and me tied in 2nd. Damn it!
There's
Samoa
me,
Joe,
bottom of the
damn it!
barrel.
And Jerry, bottom of the barrel. But not bottom of the barrel. I mean, you beat out JJ.
Yeah, because they like came in at the last minute. If they started at
came in
the
the third
beginning of the year, they would.
But yes, the No DQ Super Saiyan did it again, but this time he did in All Elite Wrestling. Congratulations to Sean Goshiku. And thank you again to the over 270 that participated in that. So let's go ahead and briefly talk about AEW this year. Your star players, key moments, what the F's, and maybe your favorite show. Chris, I'll start with you. What's some of your takeaways from AEW this year? What was your favorite pay-per-view?
Well, my favorite pay-per-view, I like them all, but I only have to choose one. My favorite pay-per-view had been Double or Nothing. I really enjoyed Double or Nothing. It was because it was my 1-year anniversary of Double or Nothing. So I really enjoyed that. Match of the year this year.
Oh, good lord, that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of matches that really excited about, but I'm going to say match of the year had been at AEW Revolution and CM Punk versus MJF.
The dog collar match. A callback to Ring of Honor.
I enjoyed the dark collar match. I had CM Punk winning. Thank God he won.
I think everybody did, based on the lengths that the story went.
Superstars that I enjoyed in 2022 were MJF, CM Punk, Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Don't forget it.
Claudio Castagnoli.
He came in at Forbidden Door, by the way, and he was on fire since.
He was on fire, and he's still going to be on fire heading into 2023 as the Ring of Honor champion. I also enjoy Saraya coming to AEW.
Big moment.
Jamie Hayter, I'm glad that Tony Khan gave her a chance and have her win the AEW Women's Championship.
She came a long damn way.
Thank God we don't have to hear that word interim anymore. She
Don't
is
get me started on that. I was ranting on that.
I will not get you started. But
you better not. Nobody wants to hear me rant right now. All right, I'm in a good mood. This is the year-end deal. I'm in a good mood.
Interim.
But thank God.
Shut up.
But thank God
say,
Jamie Hayter got a chance and she won the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm, she had a good run with it. I'm going to say breakout superstars this year. I'm going to say Wardlow. He broke out with his own. FTR definitely broke out as one of the best tag teams in AEW.
If not the industry.
I'm also going to say Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I think 2023 is going to definitely be the year that you put singles champions on Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And also the interesting tag team I'm starting to enjoy and starting to like is the Acclaim. Everybody loves the Acclaim. I did well in the Predictions League in AEW, so hopefully 2023 will be a good year for me.
All right. Very well said, my friend. Very well said. Feel like you covered a lot of ground here. So, Jerry, again, man, what's some of your takeaways for All Elite Wrestling? Like maybe your favorite show, favorite performer, biggest expectation for somebody in 2023. Let your mind be spoken about.
One of my favorite things to do lately is just watch AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation, because I like watching. You know how it was back in Warcraft? You would just go to like an area, kill a bunch of like livestock and whatnot, just to gain experience points. That's what it's kind of like watching like Dark and Dark Elevation, because you're watching these guys like pretty much go against these enhancement talents. It's like when I was growing up and watching WWF Superstars, and they'd have like like the 5 matches, and you have like each of these like main event stars coming in, just squashing a local talent, just to get a little bit of exposure. So because of that, I got to see a lot more wrestlers that I wish would be on, Dynamite and Rampage a lot more. Like at this point, one of my predictions for this next year is Abaddon is going to be the one that takes the belt off Jade Cargill. I think her pretty much haunting the baddies and everything at this point, and just pretty much like scaring the shit out of them as often as possible would just make for great television. And for Jade to be like completely unshaken until the actual match itself would make just for a good story arc for her. Because somebody you wouldn't really see coming. I think she's had like one loss in the entire time she's been in AEW at this point.
2 losses when she faced Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship and had the trick or street fight with Daybreaker DMD, who just survived.
Yeah, so like she's just been doing nothing but racking up wins, just knocking out this local talent. But a win's a win at this point, and like it's gonna like start building up. That's the way things started off with Goldberg. I think it's gonna be the way it goes with Abaddon as well.
That's a fair takeaway.
But otherwise, like my stars for the year aren't exactly the main event guys. They're the ones that put on consistently awesome matches and don't really get nearly as much credit as they should. Hot take: Sammy Guevara is still probably my favorite performer in the company. Get all the back locker room stuff out of your head. Pretty much any altercations he may have had with any of the people there. Anytime he's in a ring, he puts on a fantastic show. Especially his match with Cody Rhodes, that ladder match for the TNT title.
I saw live.
Fantastic match.
That ladder cutter. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's going to be on the highlight reel for at least the next decade or so. It doesn't matter who he's fighting or who he's married to or whatever else. Like his in-ring talent is on level of nobody else in that company. Ethan Page, he could have
highly underrated.
He could have been like a complete washout at this point, especially after the way Impact had him leave. like that whole like Karate Man exit was just disheartening to watch. So getting to see him be all ego Ethan Page at this point, and his interactions with Matt Hardy and Private Party at this point, those were it's just great television. And I think he's going to be well on his way getting to some sort of mid-card title by the end of next year. If he isn't, that just means that the whole firm business is just stupid.
Yeah.
The Ass Boys, they actually impressed me. Breaking away from the Gun, Billy Gunn was going to be risky regardless, but they're actually getting to show more of their personality and whatnot too. And that's something that their dad was really based upon. He's got a good power game and everything, but when it came to personality, him and Road Dogg, just that's how they got through. That's how the New Age Outlaws became the New Age Outlaws. So they're just their personas. So they never really did have a tag team finisher or anything like that. So
now the feud with FTR. We'll see how that goes and how it's back.
My tag team of the year is still probably the same tag team I had last year. Alex Reynolds and John Silver. The Beaver Boys do nothing but great matches, and they're fit. They're very fluid with their tag movements. They're just entertaining to watch on pretty much any show that they're on, whether it be Being the Elite or just showing up on Guevara's blog or wherever else. The fact that the Dark Order is completely disintegrated at this point, to the point where it's only Uno and those two, and then -1. That's really it. But I think even then, with Preston Vance leaving the group, I think -1 is probably be less on screen, and that's probably one of the reasons why they did it that way, so he could be off screen a little bit more, probably go back to school or whatever else.
Probably.
But I really enjoy. Let's see, Ruby Soho. I wish they would do more with her, but she's becoming very injury prone, and it's very start and stop with her, which sucks because she had one of the greatest pretty much introductions into the company that they've had there so far.
As far as a female goes,
I'm sad that whole fall of All Out Brawl Out thing happened, and now we don't really have CM Punk. We barely had the Bucks and Omega for a good part of 3 months.
Yes.
They lost a lot of traction, but I'm loving the matches that they're doing with the Death Triangle right now.
Yeah, the Tonight theme, brilliant.
I'm guessing the next one's supposed to be no DQ, and then the last one, I know it's going to be a ladder match. It has to be a ladder match for a trios title, and that's going to be phenomenal to watch.
If it goes that far,
it will, Noah. It will.
You heard it right here. Jerry's calling for a full 7 games in this thing.
It has to, otherwise it feels it feels very cheap and very cheated. It's gonna have to come down to the 7th one. It's gonna be a ladder match, and it's gonna be the match of the year right at the beginning of the year. The people will be talking about it by Thanksgiving. Still, they'll be sitting there eating drumsticks Murder Trio's ladder match. Yeah,
and Potney killed himself. Fair enough.
But yeah, there's been so many different great storylines, but then they've had so many ones that had to just stop because of all the drama and stuff that goes on in that company. Yeah. So once they get that under control, the sky's going to be the limit for AEW. They've got a new producer in there that's supposed to be the second coming of Kevin Dunn, and now he's with the company. So it's going to be interesting to watch what they do production wise and writing wise and everything else from here on. And I think it's all going to start this next year, and I think it's going to be a better year for AEW.
I love that outlook because all I want to do is see wrestling thrive. I mean, House of Black, Death Triangle, they've been my standout factions. John Silver, I want to see this man push to the moon. He has so much energy, so much character. He brings so much to the ring in so many of his matches. I want to see this man challenge for the TNT title. I agree with you on the fact that Wardlow has definitely been a rising star, but I would also give that for the female side. to Athena. You talk about Dark and Dark Elevation.
Ring of Honor.
Athena used that platform to elevate herself to finally become champion once again. She is now the new Ring of Honor Women's World Champion.
I think without that exposure on Dark and Dark Elevation, she wouldn't have gotten that push because that's where her whole persona started off. That's where she started getting more and more frustrated, and it was fantastic to watch. It was like watching Jericho's initial heel turn in WCW, where he started ripping up Dave Pender's jacket.
Callback. And I gotta give all the props this year to Chris Jericho. What that man has done with elevating not only the Ring of Honor title, but the people around who was in the ring, including making the executive call, because he has that creative kind of control now, to get Action Andretti that match at that moment, saying that guy's going to be a star. Chris Jericho has been the MVP, right up there with Jon Moxley for this year.
Oh, yeah.
All Elite Wrestling. No doubt. And again, like I said, Forbidden Door was probably my favorite of the year. Full Gear probably second, because Full Gear finally made things more solidified. Jamie Hayter, 1 year in the Rising, finally the AEW Women's World Champion. Phenomenal match against Toni Storm, who was an incredible champion in her own right. MJF, finally the leader of this company as champion. And that list he has so much potential for longevity and storytelling in his championship run. AEW finally pushing younger talent at the forefront after using the main marquee names to really push forward the people in this company. And I'll give credit due. Orange Cassidy right now as the AEW champion has been incredibly compelling and entertaining, to say the least. This wild idea of open challenge. Oh, you want to face me? All you have to do is ask, so go for it. And now this manipulative mind game with this reinvented Kip Sabian, which I don't understand the character, but
Kip is what I needed. I forgot to mention. Kip is fantastic.
Embrace the change. And of course, he had that program with Alex Reynolds. And while the women's division still has work to do when it comes to branching it out more across the product weekly, they're finally trying to push more talent, more faces forward. Gabe Time will be so some decent time. Looks like we're going to get some sort of tag feud with Tag JAS, and we'll see what that comes down to. Konosuke Takeshita, Eddie Kingston, both have definitely given me moments and matches to remember. Konosuke finally signed AEW, another guy with so much promise. There's just been a lot of good to come out of AEW, despite the political bullshit that has definitely given it a bad flavor from the corporate side of things. But at least I do see them trying. So that's just my few takes. Because again, I can talk about wrestling, AEW, any company all night, but that's not what this is about. Jeff, what's some of your takeaways from All Elite Wrestling this year? Your stars, maybe what your expectation is for Summer 2023, maybe your favorite show. Let's hear what's on your mind, my friend. It's been I feel it's been AEW's best year, despite the political bullshit, to say the least, with what they've done with the roster. Not only expanding it, but showcasing it. And it finally figured out all their champions.
Right. That's the key thing. I personally, I thought this was a great year, despite, as you said, all the back locker room bullshit that went on. Full Gear has got to be the pay-per-view of the year. I was the whole night on the edge of my seat, and we had so many great matches. I mean, Jungle Boy defeating Luchasaurus in the cage. I mean, that alone was worth it, and that started it off. But definitely don't want to forget what was on the pre-show with Kingston and Akiyama.
Yes,
that was a great match in itself, and the whole card was just stacked with amazing matches. And I enjoyed it from bell to bell, from front to back. Probably the pay-per-view of the year for me as far as AEW. You guys are mentioning breakout star. I got to give it to Willow Nightingale. I mean, she has been amazing this year. She has really come into her own, picking up some really big wins this year. She doesn't have the best record, but she's doing pretty darn good enough for her to get signed. So I got to get my hats off to Willow Nightingale. To me, that would be the breakout star of the year. The male superstar of the year, it's kind of a tie between Ricky Starks and Hook. Those are my two.
This has been the year of Hook. It really has.
It has been the year of Hook. And Starks, with the whole getting away from Hobbs and becoming his own, now we're seeing a side of Starks we never got to see for the last couple of years. This has been a great run for him this last half of the year. So I am looking forward. 2023, I think you'll find Ricky's going to have that title around his waist in 2023. It's just a matter of when. But I can guarantee you he will be AEW champion next year.
Possibly champion.
Yeah. Tag team, kind of a tie. Acclaimed and FTR. I mean, those two, Acclaimed has really stepped it up to the point where now they're champions. FTR holding titles from 3 different companies, and they're still doing. Yeah, and then they're flying here, flying there, and they still come back to AEW and put on one hell of a show. Hence, them versus the Briscoes that we saw.
Jesus.
You can't put them. You can't not put them. I'll put it that way in tag team of the year. With it just there's no way. You think that first thing you think of is FTR, but you got to give the Acclaimed some credit too on that one. I think. Woman of the year's got to go to Jade Cargill. As much as I can't stand her, she's still undefeated. She is still undefeated. And it's like, who is going to be the one to break the streak? 2023 will tell. I mean, I thought a couple times this year it was going to happen, and it hasn't. So that's the question right now. Who's going to break her streak? But I got to give Woman of the Year to Jade Cargill. Match of the year, Kingston and Ishii.
Yeah.
That one has got to be my all-time favorite from All Out. That was
on the
my God.
Hour nonetheless. My God.
Yes. And it had so many emotions riding in that match. So many emotions. And you could tell with each hit from both people. And they put everything into this match. And I thought that was great. The other one I would have to say would probably be, again, with Eddie Kingston, would be the Jun Akiyama match. That one there, that was extremely special to him. And I will be the first to admit, I had tears in my eyes. At the end of that match, I had tears in my eyes. So, when you can get a fan to cry, you've done something right. So I got to give Eddie Kingston's had a hell of a year. It's just bottom line, he's had a hell of a year too. So
he doesn't have to look pretty.
One of the greatest visuals of the year is Eddie Kingston walking back out to the ring with that gasoline. That's going to be in my memory for ages.
Eat your heart out, horror cinema world. That's a real threat.
I have a Gag Me with a Spoon award that goes to Tay Mello and Sammy Guevara. Thank God they stopped making out on screen as much as they did. I got sick and tired of that. Oh my God. I'm glad they cut back.
I'll give you that. That was very cheap heat on their part. But at the same time, it got
cheap,
them on television and it got them booed. So
it got them a reaction, but sometimes, Jerry, do you want that reaction?
I think the biggest backlash was when they had the TV titles around her at that point, and I'm like, yeah, that's when they lost everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they cut back on all that crap. They haven't done it so much, not too much over the last 2-3 months, but I mean, when it first started out and they got married and they came back on TV, that's all we saw.
And I'm like, stop.
Oh, and I couldn't
during
stand
the
it.
matches even. I'm like, oh God, get a room.
My takeaway from AEW as an overall whole for the year, the women's division needs to step it up, and they've already started with the crowning of Jamie Hayter.
Yeah,
there was so much in there with the women's division and the women's world title that was a joke. I mean, the last true champion was Britt Baker. Thunder Rosa, a joke.
Yeah,
Toni Storm, a joke. So I'm glad. And as much as I hate to say it, because I love Toni, I did not like her run. Her run matches up with the same as Thunder Rosa in my
at least her run actually. At least her run actually involved, and this is why I give Toni Storm a ton of credit and respect. Weekly showcasing and quarterly, if not more, defending. She was the predominant focus as the face of the women's division, despite Saraya Donna Baker and obviously the growth of Jamie Hayter.
Yeah,
So
I
will
will.
give
I,
Toni
Let's see
Storm
with this
that much
also.
credit.
Toni Storm didn't really have to give as much as she did during those matches,
But she
especially
still
for the
did.
fact that she was considered the interim champion until she lost the belt, and then it was,
And that was her best match.
and then they're like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and acknowledge you as a women's champion now. Great, thank you
Yeah.
for that. Now,
Yeah.
you know, otherwise, if Thunder Rosa,
yeah.
if Thunder Rosa had come back and they put the belt back on her, I don't think they would have actually acknowledged Toni Storm's reign at all.
Probably not. That it was just bad booking and bad call, in my opinion. It undermined what Toni Storm was trying to do, and I could tell
Yeah.
when Toni Storm was coming out at times, it pissed her off.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing with this also. The fact that, the interim thing, that needs to never happen again. You're either
Right.
the
I agree.
champion or you're not the champion.
Exactly.
Simple as
I
that.
say AEW, if they come into with this problem again, strip of the belt, do a tournament.
Simple
Yeah.
as that.
Simple as that.
Tournaments are
We
always
don't need
great. Tournaments
interim.
are always a great fix.
Yeah,
It
we
is.
don't need the word
It's a
interim.
chance
It's
to
stupid.
also try and grow somebody too as a star. Have them show out in a tournament. Probably one of the reasons why you like the
Or-
likes of Sammy Guevara. It's one of the
or-
reasons why people
or my-
still behind the likes of Darby Allin, and he gets ragged on to death.
My idea for that kind of thing, if you're gonna have like a one night thing to determine a champion, have a battle royal. Have the last 4 people that are in the battle royal take place in a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the belt. Like right after the last person gets in, dropped out of the match, you have those last 4 left. Have them in just a ladder match or a TLC match for the belt.
I've got one better. If you come across this situation again and you strip someone of the title, you need a champion. Do kind of like what they did at WrestleMania 4. Do a big old 32-man tournament in one night.
One night
Yeah.
only.
First round is
Dedicate
15-minute
yourself.
matches. If you win, you move on. If it's a draw, no one moves on.
Yeah.
And someone ends up getting a bye. That's what I think and I think that would be great because they got so many people that are worthy of championship gold on that show.
On multiple
no-
fronts.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Everybody
you
gets
can
more
take people
exposure.
from
Everybody wins. You further more rivalries. You
Yeah.
do a whole bunch of that business.
well, you can
push more
take people from
talent.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
show
you can
more
take
variety.
people from Rampage. You can take people from Dark and Elevation. You take people from all parts of AEW and put them in this tournament. And I think that would be a great way to do this. You want to crown a new champion, do it the right way.
Yeah.
To get a big old tournament, not 8 people. Do a big old tournament that crosses all brands of the company.
They make enough Wednesday night theme-based nights. They could dedicate a month to just this theme if they have to. Only do this
They
on
could.
television and use, like you said, the Dynamite and Rampage for that month. Strictly dedicate. Keyword: strictly dedicated to that, and then you push the women to do something else.
Yeah, and you can have the finals of that be on the pay-per-view.
Exactly.
Right after. So you got a whole couple months leading up to the finals.
Yep.
They could easily do it with the hundreds of people that they've got employed in that company.
Even with now Ring of Honor being even with now Ring of Honor finally being a bit affirmed. Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
They
Chris-
still even have enough room for a take-home show to hammer it home that that next match should be for the title, and that'd be very, very important.
I will say this: their their go homes have gotten a little bit lackluster. The further we've gone down the line, but the fallout has definitely proven more worthy to actually building into the next quarter. I like their fallout more than their go home sometimes. The best part of the go home is the actual countdown for me. So again, it's just one of those things. The bottom line, though, AEW, you had another great year. You still got work to do, but at least I am constantly seeing progression. And that's what you want to see in a wrestling product. And that's really all I got to say about that. And honestly, Jeff, I agree with you. That was my pay-per-view of the year. I literally had that as my first pay-per-view of the year, followed by Forbidden Door. It was just Full Gear to me is always that show that seems like the end and the start of something else heading into the year. And that's what it feels like right now with the likes of MJF and Jamie Hayter at the helm. Full Gear has been my pay-per-view now 3 years running. I absolutely love that show so much, top to bottom. And again, you talked about from the 0 hour into our opener the whole night. It was moment after moment after moment. And again, that is the hardest I ever freaking seen the AEW Women's Division fight. Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm. Damn, I want to see that run back at some point. But I digress. But anyway, congratulations again to the All Elite winners. And stay tuned, folks, for the start of the All Elite League in 2023, which, of course, will kick off with AEW Revolution from the Chase Center in San Francisco, California. Cindy, have an incredible time. And also, Cindy, thank you for participating in predictions. She says she is done. She's just going to have fun and be content creative on Twitch. Cheers to her, Indie Darling for life. All right. Well, we talked about those key two. I'm going to briefly highlight Ring of Honor because why it was a pilot. You all still had fun across the 3 shows. And overall, I thank you all for participating over the 60+ of you. But I did it. Follow Charlene, the King, and Kyle, and Dwayne, JJ, Colin. You did a good job, Colin. Cindy G, you're right there. Chris, you were in the top 20 along with Ashley. And then there's Mark, Jeff, and Jerry. And again, Jeff, I think you did maybe one show, which probably would hurt you the most, but that's all right. But maybe this time you'll do. If they, I wonder if Ring of Honor is going to do like 3 or follow the AEW model like 4 because they have the key shows. They only had 3 this year, and for what they were worth, the Ring of Honor pay-per-views, they all delivered 2.
I think they'd be just as well doing 4, and then like have them like be on the opposite months of the any AEW one. That way, wouldn't take any viewers away from that. It's like because nobody wants to pay like for an AEW pay per view, then pay that next week for like a Ring of Honor pay per view.
That's $90 approximately.
Yeah,
which does add up.
As long as they space it out a little bit and give the product a little bit of time to breathe, I think that'll work out beautifully. And they keep on they say it's going to be like, I guess, the Honor Club type thing where it's going to be that's how you're going to be able to watch Ring of Honor. I think they should just do away with Rampage, have it be Ring of Honor Rampage.
That's
an
a good
interesting
idea.
takeaway. I mean, Rampage has been used for great showcasing. I mean, again, you want to talk about the women's division. The women owed Rampage at the beginning of the year. Penelope Ford and Allie, the bunny, one of my all-time favorites. They literally took on Ty J in that street fight. That's still talked about today. I am so damn glad to see Allie back. That's still talked about today. So I feel like Rampage could be used as a different environment on its own, not necessarily continuing fallout from Dynamite. It's one of those things where I still feel like Rampage needs its own identity. But again, 2023, who knows? All right. Well, now that we talked about that, let's go ahead and talk about the big one that I know everybody's going to have a ton of things to figure about, considering we had one half of booking from this versus one half of booking from this. NXT. Not my NXT. But I will say that, hey, let me talk to you. Give credit where credit's due. I will say the white and gold has gotten better, and I will always appreciate it more than Rainbow Splash platoon color. And that's the only approval you're going to get from me for that NXT going forward. Just saying. But anyway, as far as the team goes, Jerry, he did it again. The Super Saiyan did it 2 years in a freaking row. Son Gozaku won for the team, followed by K-Fib, Candy Ass, Caitlin, Mikey T. Sorry, brother. You got outbeat. Followed by me, Aaron, and the rest of the crew. JJ, Josh, good job in your team debuts. Jerry, bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
Well, what are you going to do, right? And as far as the Galaxy, Chris, you remember our little wager. Not only did you have to win, you had to surpass everybody else in the Galaxy and team. You did it.
Nice.
Congratulations. 98
Wow.
points overall, followed by Ashley in second with 91. Richard Morales, Greg, Kinkiana, Charlene, Mark, and Jeff, you were right behind each other, 83 and 82 respectively. So overall, Chris, I am a man of my word. I'm going to ask you to pick 3 shirts, and you will get one surprised by me by the Royal Rumble. Congratulations, my friend. You are the No DQ King for 2022. Well done. So with that being said, before I talk about more breakdowns and we get our thoughts, let's go ahead and hear from the ultimate supreme leader of the No DQ Galaxy at Knowledge Him, Christopher Rotz, your victory speech, and your final takeaways for 2022. And you're hyped for, I'm sure you're going to participate in 2023, where, might I add, returning 2-time in a row, Notiku Galaxy winner, the analyst Michael Wayne, will be coming back. But go ahead and Chris.
Well, I want to thank all of you guys. I started in 2020 when I was down maybe by 8 or 9, I believe.
It was 8 points.
8 points. 2021, I almost had it. But overall, I had a plan going into 2022. Have the momentum early, strike at the dime, and move forward for the victory. And personally, I did what I had to do. Overall, to all the competition this year for WWE and all of the predictions league out there for each company, we're excited for 2023 to get here. I am so ready to put in my bio on Instagram the No DQ Galaxy Predictions League champion.
For 2022.
For 2022.
Don't wash up the year.
I'm not watching the year. But
Great, going.
Everybody that's coming back for 2023, it's going to be a great year. But so my takeaways from WWE is I'm glad Vince McMahon is done. He's retired from the company.
Effing that. Continue.
Thank God. And Triple H is taking over head of creative. That was my best moment of 2022. Also, my best moment is from the predictions panel videos where we all cracked up, where we're going to say, oh, it's going to be Cody. That was my favorite.
Yes.
That was my favorite moment. And also my favorite moment is the last time all 4 of us were on a predictions video together was the Money in the Bank predictions video where, and I'm going to call Jerry Slaughter out for this one. You chose Sami Zayn to win the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
we all did, though, to be fair. His booking
and it was
so
great booking,
convincing.
too. But I like how Sami Zayn's being carried right now anyway. But
I agree.
I like my idea way better. So,
but
I agree.
you
But
had
anyway,
you had a good prediction. But overall, Austin Theory won the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Bullshit.
For all we
Anyway, continue.
know. But overall, yeah, you did a good job, Colin Andrews. You definitely got to get on this panel video one day. Hopefully in 2023 we'll have you on. But overall, some superstars I enjoyed were definitely Cody Rhodes. He's on top of my list.
He's only had 3 matches. Put that in perspective on premium live events.
But 3 matches
against one person
with Seth freaking Rollins. But hey, he had a hell of a run. Those 3 matches was absolutely great. 2023 is going to be the year of Cody Rhodes. He's going to be a future world champion. Hopefully at WrestleMania, that's going to possibly happen. And Justin Marshall.
I agree. See, he's right.
Whatever his last name is, whatever Jeff Chadwick says all the time on the whatever.
Yes,
hold on,
Maserati.
Maserati.
Spaghetti.
Handed the contract. He wasn't in the match originally, so no Zayn. Okay.
All right, you're rambling. Get back on track. Come on.
I'm getting back on track.
Don't make me cut you off like the Hall of Fame.
I won't. Roman
wrap
Reigns.
it up, D. Wrap it up.
Roman Reigns was. I am definitely wearing the head of the table shirt.
Yeah, I wonder why he picked that.
3 years.
Hey, do you want me to
years.
wear John Cena's shirt on this video?
Well, he is coming the last SmackDown. Maybe we'll save that the first video of 2023 if he declares himself for the Royal Rumble. God forbid. But continue.
And also superstars that I also enjoy were like AJ Styles, Braun Breaker, the Creed brothers, Cora Jade. Oh, she's my favorite NXT superstar is Cora Jade.
Oh, now we know where he stands. Interesting.
By
By the way, I did also do sub scores for NXT. Best male and female in the Galaxy. Chris, you did again. Ashley, superb job. You got 19 points. Kayfabe did the best for NXT for the team. Out of the 5 shows on this NXT. And most likely NXT will be concluded next year. Continue.
and I'm personally my favorite match of the year. I'm gonna say I'm going way back. I'm going for at Clash at the Castle. These two put on a banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. Sheamus
That's really what it was during that match, too.
Right.
Sheamus and Gunther. Oh my gosh. When I heard the chest pumps, I said, oh my gosh. That was the best match of the year.
I agree. For WWE,
I-
that's my match of the year.
I enjoyed it. And personally, we're going to see Gunther versus Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship tonight on Friday Night SmackDown.
Going full circle.
I think Gunther's going to probably retain, and then we all know what's going to happen. We're going to get Gunther versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Be interesting, actually.
and-
Yeah, be honest.
Speaking about Brock Lesnar, I enjoyed finally ending 8 long years of misery with Brock Lesnar this year.
Oh, jeez.
Thank God. But
He's going
overall,
to go there, folks. He's going to go there. He's going to get it
But-
all out, and then Jerry and Jeff can do their rebuttal.
But overall, I had an amazing time. And personally, am I going to possibly repeat in 2023? That's going to be yet to be determined.
No.
Now, if these people have anything to say about it, the analyst Michael Wayne, and don't forget, dude, I'm right there with you because now I care about the WWE now that Triple H is in charge. But again, Chris, congratulations on winning the No DQ Galaxy Predictions League and being the king of No DQ with the highest score possible beyond the Galaxy and the team. You earned it, and you did earn that shirt from me. Congratulations again. All right. Well, as we continue this conversation before we head into 2023, he gave his summary speech and takeaways too. I also broke down, as you saw, not only your scores from NXT and told about the leaders there. I also broke down your scores across the main roster shows only for the team. And so it goes through again. That guy, I swear, is a wizard. Cheater! Cheater! Damn it! Cheater! But as far as the Galaxy, when it comes to just the Raw and SmackDown Premium Live events, Chris, you aced it again, but Ashley was shortly behind you with 72 as the best female participant. So again, thank you to all 143 of you that participated, and definitely stay tuned for more on that. And also, let's not forget, he was the guy that set the pace. There's only one first. Don't think he won't do it again against both the team and against you, Chris. Just saying. But now we move on from you. Jerry, what an interesting WWE, to say the least, for the better half of 2022. What's some of your biggest takeaways, best matches, moments, stars, either NXT or WWE? Let's get your brief WWE summary.
Well,
What's your
it's
takeaway, my friend?
It's going to be brief.
Might be
It's
a bottom
going
of
to
the
be brief because I got to go here in a few. NXT wise, Toxic Attraction was great. I'm sad that Mandy Rose is gone. Gigi Dolan's still there though. Thank God. But let's see.
I heard that.
But you should have. I said it out loud. But with them, I think the most natural progression they could do at this point is have like Gigi and Jesse both show up on NXT this next time, but pretty much be lost without their leader there. But then still challenge for the tag titles and have Cora Jade actually help them win them. From there, you can have Cora Jade pretty much enlist their helps and taking the NXT women's title off Roxanne, which could easily turn Roxanne and Cora into pretty much the new Ciampa and Gargano for NXT, at least for the women's division.
I can see that potentially. By the way, Colin, was the emoji really necessary?
Yes, it is.
You guys look at women way too close. What the hell is this? MC Hammer 2022? Anyway, continue.
I love how she held the belt and also how she licked it.
Oh my God.
Jeff knows what I'm talking about.
I wash my hands of that. Yeah, exactly. Technical difficulties.
All right, we're back to normal.
Okay,
Continue.
men's wise, I'm gonna have to go with like JD McDonald. Like Jordan Devlin has been one of my favorite wrestlers for ages, and the fact that he's actually getting, I won't say a main event push, but close enough to a main event push in NXT. He's doing fantastic with it. He's running with it. His showcase in that that most recent like Survivor match that they did was fantastic. Carmelo Hayes.
That freaking guy. All right, that's the guy of NXT.
He is a beast, and it's gonna be fun watching him versus Ricochet down the line too. So, especially since Ricochet is now starting to get to show a little bit more character to him, because like for a long time there, yeah, he's very stagnant, but he's also like one of the greatest performers in the company.
Right.
And I think it was the same problem that AJ Styles had when he first started out. He didn't really have the persona, but he had all the talent. So I'm thinking the whole thing's gonna happen with Ricochet here soon too. I'm hoping he goes into King Ricochet mode at some point and just like becomes like this obnoxious heel, and that'd be fantastic for his character.
I remember that.
About to say like the whole Prince Puma like swagger that he could have would be perfect. WWE wise,
yeah,
everything that they're doing with Sami Zayn right now is fantastic, but I think that's going to come to a crashing halt tonight. I think they're going to kick him out of the bloodline, and if they do, they have to be smiling the entire time that they do it, because that's the only way the crowd is going to turn against the bloodline for doing that shit. Is if while they're brutalizing Sami Zayn, they are smiling the entire time, like they had this whole thing lined up the entire time. So if that's the case and that's the way it goes, great. And I love the idea of seeing. I don't want to see Sami Zayn as champion. I want to see him as tag champion with Kevin Owens, because that seems like it makes more sense.
Yeah, it does, honestly.
Like he's not going to be the one that unseats Roman Reigns. That's going to be Cody Rhodes. No. So otherwise, they would have put the belt on somebody else by now.
That sounds more accurate.
So we never know. But at the same time, it would be also. I'm not even sure where they're going to go with it, because Triple H taking over with creative, and I'm not sure if he even knows what he wants to do with these guys at this point, because they wanted to have Sami Zayn out of the bloodline before now, but everything's just working out too well. That like even before he's feeling kind of oozy kind of moment that okay, I'm gonna say this right now. Sami Zayn is superstar of the year for WWE. He has done nothing but great matches. Even the giant one with Johnny Knoxville, that was a fantastic match. That was just pure sports entertainment, and it just got a good reaction from everybody. It got great mainstream media coverage. He's just been anything that they needed him to be, just like Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, anytime they needed him, he's shown out as well.
Star player of Raw, star player of SmackDown, respectively.
Yeah, so those are my MVPs for the WWE company this year, but I have to actually cut out because I have to go to work. So,
Jerry, again, it's been a hell of a 2022. Looking forward to starting the new Impact Wrestling League with you.
Well, I'm going to own it this year. I'm actually going to not go with so many of my predictions. I'm not going with so many of my predictions, but as much as stuff that's going to happen versus stuff that I want to happen. That's where my problem is.
I see. So a different mindset. All right. Well, I'm not going to leave you. Don't be late. That's all I got to say. Thank you again.
You want to do my plugs later, Noah. I know you know how to do it.
Oh, I know, dude. Come on now. You know this. All about Armbar, ARNBAR, exclamation point. Don't forget it. And follow this one-of-a-kind creative mind on the Twitter at Gerald_JSJ. It's as simple as that.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Later, Jerry.
Till next time.
See you, Jerry.
All right. Well, again, that guy, that mind, one of a kind. Well, Jeff, again, WWE 2022 has definitely been a memorable, unique one to say the least. And once again, they have changed the game from the top. And we're seeing how far it has come and where it could go. Not just in the main roster, but even in this, not my NXT, but not to the point that I'm going to rant about anymore. Semi decent, tolerable reminder for me of what my NXT used to be, this NXT, especially now that the prodigy has risen to promise Roxanne Perez, and rightfully so. So, what are some of your takeaways from 2022, and what do you expect in 2023?
Well, let's start off with NXT. Well, let's start off as a whole first. As a whole, we've seen this.
Yes.
We've seen Vince leaving and Triple H taking over in the whole company. We've seen NXT UK come to an end. We have seen just so many things, so many memorable moments, including those that hurt, like all these releases this year from both NXT, WWE, WWE, from NXT UK. It just so many things happened this year. And in my predictions, in my not predictions, but in my end of the year thing here, I'm not only including NXT. I have NXT UK sitting right here.
Respect, because it
pay-per-view of the year, because it's something that came to an end. NXT Worlds Collide. That has got to be like I've liked the fact before when we saw NXT versus NXT UK. I've enjoyed this because it's literally two worlds. You've got British wrestling and you've got American wrestling. So it's really cool to see the two styles clash. And the pay-per-view was just amazing. They knocked it out of the park. So for NXT, that Worlds Collide is the pay-per-view of the year. The match for me has got to be Breaker versus Dragunov versus JD McDonough. The triple threat match that we saw.
That's my NXT match of the year too. Completely agree.
It's you can't get any better than that. I mean, there was not one flaw in this match. Not one. And it went off without a hitch from bell to bell. It was like I could not stop staring at that TV because the action was just ongoing. I mean, you stop and think the three people that are in the match alone, you know, no one's going to say, oh, this is a bathroom break. No. If it was, I'm sorry you missed one of the best matches of the year.
That's the threat matches this year. Let's put that in perspective.
Exactly. For the men, I've got to go. I've got three. I can't pin it down to one. It's just so hard with the talent that they have there. Obviously, Braun Breaker. He's held that championship and he's done very well with it. And he's going to continue going into 2023 being champion. And I can only imagine the matches that are right around the corner for him, whether it be on NXT or when he goes to the main roster. Another one, Wes Lee. Since leaving and having his partner fired from the company and going solo, he has really come on his own. And I have been very impressed with this guy. The ladder match for him to win that title was unbelievable. Like I was like screaming at the TV, telling him, reach for that damn title. And he's like,
I'm just glad that Von Wagner, what's his name, did not win that belt.
So am I. I'm glad Lurch did not win that belt either. Third would be Ilya Dragunov going to NXT UK. And just he up until his injury, it amazes me what this guy can do. And when speaking of Ilya, that is actually my oh my god moment. Ilya Dragunov defeating Walter for the UK title.
Yes.
Who thought that would ever happen? I mean, you had people his size go up against him, put on a hell of a match, 40 minutes. And still not come on top. We're talking Pete Dunne. We're talking Tyler Bate. And here's Ilya, who's a $190 soaking wet. And he defeats Walter. And it was one of the best matches I think I've ever seen.
Same.
So that is my oh my god moment. For the women, I got 3 as well, and they cover both sides of the spectrum. Mandy Rose. How can, even though what went on this year recently, how can you not respect someone who's held the title for 413 days?
Can't argue that.
I mean, that nobody can argue that fact. Cora Jade, liked her when she was a good guy, love her even more as a heel. I'm glad she made this turn. Unfortunately for Roxanne Perez, I'm sure she's not, but you know, that's the way it goes in the land of WWE.
There are no friends in this business.
um,
Damn it.
Exactly. And 20 years, 20, 25 years in the company, you got to give your props to Miko Satomura. I mean, once again, holding that NXT UK Women's Championship, she's in her 40s, her mid 40s, and she did an amazing job with that title. And she definitely made that title mean something. Not that the others didn't, but her reign alone, which was it was right around what,
Exceptional.
300. Yeah, it was exceptional. It was well over 300 days.
Yeah, against Ela Dawn, Ayla
like, I think it was-
Valkyrie, Kaylee Ray in a return match, Ginny. She is the
Yep.
final boss for a reason. I guess now she works backstage at NXT, so she's done
Which I think
everything
is awesome.
possible.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that she is. She a lot of people, especially the up and comers, can learn a lot from her. I remember when Miko debuted in WCW as
Mhm.
20 years old. I can remember that. And
First
it's
time
just,
I heard of her.
but from then to now, and she's still doing it. And I guarantee you ask her to put on her gear, she'll do it in a heartbeat. I know she would. So you probably haven't seen the last of Miko. I'm thinking maybe she'll have one more match in 2023. And
hope so.
it would have really, really been cool to see Miko versus Mandy Rose 1-on-1, because
Right.
Mandy has definitely come in her own since coming down to NXT from the
From
main
golden
roster.
goddess to toxic attraction.
And she I think she had the character total flip flop of the year. I mean, she has really come into her own. She went from a nobody to a somebody, and it took going down to NXT to do it. That's why it's a developmental company. You know, they have these people down the main rosters, coming down to help. Well, not only are they doing that, but they're coming down to better themselves. So you've got so many great things going for NXT, and it's, you know, I can only imagine what 2023 will bring. Tag team 2, Gallus and Schism. I really like Schism. I really like them, and here's why. You have the grizzled young veterans, which I'm knowing. I don't remember their actual names now, but I remember from what they were. You got they're one hell of a team. I mean, Joe Gacy did good, you know, bringing these two in, and it was a total shock. Nobody ever thought it would have been grizzled young veterans. And then, not to mention, you have The Rock's daughter in there, who we've yet to see her in a match, but because I think she's still training and stuff. But I can't wait to see what she does.
She's already proven she's got the gift of gab. She's already proven that.
Exactly. Just like her father.
Better.
Just like her father. So I'm excited.
Getting into her own, and this is the way, again, you protect and introduce her, because that's the way The Rock was introduced.
Exactly. So that's why I have Schism, is like they've done so much in so little time, and they have been amazing at what they've been doing. So that's why I've got them in this. But definitely Gallus has always been on top, no pun intended. Over in NXT UK, coming over here up until their suspension, they have been one hell of a group, one hell of a faction.
Yeah.
And I think when Gallus comes back, I would love to see Gallus versus the Schism. I would love to see this 3-on-3. And I think that would be a hell of a match. Maybe 2023 will give us that. We'll have to wait and see. Going to the main roster.
There we go.
Pay-per-view of the year. Survivor Series War Games.
Same.
It just the fact that they took a classic of Survivor Series and they added War Games to it. Finally, it makes the main roster. I loved it in NXT. They did a great job. I guess they were testing the water, seeing how it would work. Now they brought it to the main roster, and I hope they keep it here. Only thing is, if you're going to have it at Survivor Series, have one Survivor Series match. You have to. If you're going to continue calling it Survivor Series, you got to have the elimination match. So if you have one, I'm fine with it. One traditional match, and I'm good with that. Other than that, I mean, that's the only flaw out of War Games is they did not have that one traditional match.
They didn't have a spot for it, it felt like, or the people for it.
Well, there was a match on the card that really didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
In my thoughts, and
I think Chris and I know what match you're talking about.
Yeah, so that could have been a good spot to put it and replace it with that, because you think Survivor Series, you think 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 elimination. That's what you think,
right?
And I think this is only the second time they've never had a Survivor Series style match at Survivor Series. So
you're right.
It's definitely something to get used to if this is the way they're going to do it from here on out. But the pay-per-view as a whole was very, very good.
It literally was my favorite WWE show this year, without a doubt, right above Royal Rumble and WrestleMania and Clash of the Castle.
Yeah, absolutely. My match of the year was at Clash of the Castle. It was Sheamus versus Gunther. I mean, that is I need not say more. Chris covered it all. He covered it all, and I'm glad you got it. And I'm glad they're going to continue doing Clash at the Castle every year. This is great because UK people deserve the main roster just as much as we do. I mean, you saw the reactions of the 60,000 that were sitting in that stadium.
The UK is one of the most passionate fan bases for professional wrestling on the planet.
Absolutely. Men, obviously, Roman Reigns. He's on the top. But here's another one that you'll probably scratch your head on when I say it. Another male wrestler of the year. It's not just his wrestling. I'm looking overall. The Miz. Look what he's done with Dexter Lumis. He has given him the opportunity to now work on Raw. He has helped so many people. He's helped Logan Paul. He helped all these people, whether he won, whether he lost, the feuds, the interactions that he would have. He's helped every one of them in some form or fashion. I got to give it up to The Miz. I mean, so many things that he's done this year, plus doing his own show, and then he was on Dancing with the Stars earlier in the year. He had a lot on his plate, but he's kept everything up and he's done what he needed to do to help the other person he's confronting or facing out. He has been successful in my eyes. Maybe not in the win-loss column, but overall, as far as being a mentor kind of state, you can't get any better than The Miz when it comes to being a mentor and helping someone out. That's why I got him as a male superstar of the year.
Even Ciampa underneath his wing. I really haven't considered that. That's fair.
Women, I got to give it to Liv Morgan. She's really come out of her shell. It's just from what she was early on in the year to winning the women's title and beating Ronda Rousey. And beating her not only once, but twice.
Despite controversy at SummerSlam.
Exactly. Despite. But it goes down in the record books as a win. I think that if you look back to Liv when she first came up to the main roster, to Liv now, you see a big difference, don't you? She has come into her character really well, and she's been able to adapt and change her character on the spot if need be. We've seen it. And some people with the change, it's kind of difficult to do. I know I've seen some people have issues, wrestlers have issues making that turn, abruptly instead of just gradually. Liv has done it abruptly, and she's done an amazing job at it. So
Fair.
I give it up to Liv Morgan. Tag team of the year, the Usos. You can't. How can you not? You can't argue with that. No. And beating the New Day, beating their record. They are now 500 plus days as champion. They are up there number one on the list of holding that title. And it's unheard of. And you've got the other two teams. Well, you got New Day and you got Demolition, which is one of my favorite tag teams of all time. Not with Crush, mind you, just Axe and Smash. When Crush joined them, it ruined the team. That's just my opinion.
Everyone got broken.
It did. It got crushed. No pun intended. Breakout star of the year, I got to give it to Madcap Moss. I didn't care for him when he first came up because he was linked to Baron Corbin, but then I really paid attention, especially when they started to have their little disagreements, not the big ones, we're talking the little tiny ones. You could tell, oh shit, something's going to happen here. It's just a matter of when. And I kept watching, and the jokes got cornier and cornier. Then he said,
Cringe to Fozzy.
Yeah, it's like, and then he was like, talk, and then he got that whole turning on Corbin with that joke, and look where his career has gone. Since then, he is definitely one of the top and probably most underrated superstar on the main roster right now. People don't give him enough credit. When he was in NXT, he was good, but I didn't think personally he was main roster worthy. Then here he is with Baron Corbin, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm confused. But then I watched the storyline that they were doing together and this, that, and the other thing. Then they've split apart. He has really done an amazing job this year. I know we haven't seen much of him over the last couple months due to injuries or whatnot, but he's definitely got to be the breakout star of the year for me. And last but not least, the oh my God, what the hell did I just see moment has got to be Sami Zayn breaking the Bloodline's characters in the ring. I cannot get over this. I cannot get over this.
Had to hide himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, no, you stay right. You stay right here. He's trying not to. He's turning around. I was dying. So I've got to give it, and this is why I'm hoping that earlier on, I think it was James that was mentioning that Zayn tonight, like the Bloodline would turn on Sami Zayn and this. I hope not. WWE has a hot thing right now with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn. I hope they don't ruin this. If they ruin this, it's gonna ruin ratings. Okay, everybody tunes in to see what Sami Zayn's gonna do with the Bloodline every week. Every week, SmackDown last week. The highest the viewership that they've gotten this year, I think, was last week. And it was either last week or the week before. And a lot of the people tune in to see what Sami Zayn's going to do. Tonight, he's going to shave himself up. He's going to cut his hair. He's going to look real nice. Because, Roman Reigns has got something that's going on with him, so some sort of celebration, I guess.
Something is not going to go well with this haircut. I just got a feeling.
But I hope they don't ruin it. But if they do, I could definitely see Sami Zayn going to Kevin Owens. Hey, look, you were right. I apologize. Now we got to figure out how to get back at these guys. Well, you got two here, you got two there. Take the titles off the Usos. It makes sense. So we'll see where it starts tonight, or if it starts tonight. But 2023 could be the year of Zayn and Owens. Could very well. I liked what that was, how he said that. So that's my wrap up. WWE, I think they've done an amazing job since Triple H has taken over. Not amazing, an outstanding job. Let's put it that
Elevated.
way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, to a new heights, to heights that they haven't seen ratings like this in a long time.
Or morale.
And right, or yeah, exactly, the morale too. People love working for Triple H. Those who didn't like working for Vince love working for Triple H. So he's doing the right things. And piece by piece, Triple H is going to put those pieces into that puzzle known as WWE. And eventually you're going to have a complete puzzle. And we're going to get back to the way things were, guys. It's just little baby steps. We've got to take these baby steps. And people like to rush. It's like, well, they should have done this. Give it time. You know, Triple H, he's only been running this since SummerSlam. So it's only been 4 months. But look where he's come in 4 months. Give it time. Guarantee you're going to see a different and better WWE in 2023.
I really like that final sentence because, like I said, ever since Triple H has taken control over creative, I have noticed a higher level of interest, not just from me, but from people I know that kind of fell out. Even James Keyberg, who was anti-WWE for the longest and hardest time, has come to enjoy the premium live events and maybe take a chance on the weekly product. Cindy G even took a chance. Now, I will say this, Monday Night Raw is still a 3-hour drag because they still don't have that key focal point, that face, that top champion, that compelling story narrative to keep you engaged throughout the whole show, where I'm like, this is a match. This is a match.
Yeah.
This is a match. Yeah. I like continuity. I like variety, but it has to have sustainability. It's almost like Raw just pulls pieces out of a box and stacks it up like the most illogical Lego tower, and like, this can work at least for tonight. Because
that's why SmackDown is your best show right now. That's why SmackDown is killing it.
It is better. They are focusing more on the wrestling, but still, it's still way too much advertising, not enough compelling in-ring action for me. I still am freaking tired of the flawed, filtered, unorganic atmosphere, overhyped CGI ballyhoo presentation that takes away from the action. But lately, these main events, whether it was Ricochet versus Santos Escobar, whether it was the New Day versus the Usos, that's one of the longest TV matches I've seen recently in SmackDown history because I don't have Fox, so I have to use Internet Archive /other to actually watch these shows or these moments. And Raw, the workhorses, Seth freaking Rollins and Kevin Owens, they are carrying the ship. Finn Balor getting the better push. Judgment Day being a more predominant act. All people playing a factor and growing. Dominic coming into his own, slowly finding his place, his real comfort zone in the main roster ecosystem when we all thought he was rushed up from freaking NXT / the family in general. And the way right now you're teasing this idea of reshaping Nikki Cross, Asuka into Kana, Alexa
Piper
Bliss.
Niven. Watch out for Piper Niven. It's going to be Piper Niven in 2023.
Where is Piper Niven?
Doudrop has been injured. That's why you haven't seen her. So when she comes back, don't be surprised if the Doudrop drops and she comes back as Piper Niven.
Or goes to NXT and feud maybe with former NXT UK talent Isla Dawn or Kaylee Ray / Alba Fire. The fact they're bringing more of these NXT UK talents that we appreciate so much into this NXT and actually trying to give it some sort of stability in booking while still recreating their own image. Name changes be damned. It is what it is. Still choose the accent thing and the blurred seizure entrance that he has, but a kid still shows off. Jordan Devlin still hates his effing guts. Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, pretty damn good match. And you talk about that triple threat being your NXT match of the year. Worlds Collide was special, but I look at the whole card. I think about this. Between Worlds Collide and Deadline, each show had one match I was like, bleh. And for me, Worlds Collide was Piper Niven and Nikki of a different identity. Taking on Kaden Chance and Casey Catanzaro, the different names. I don't know names. But and as far as the last one, Deadline, Braun Breaker, Apollo Crews had a hard act to follow, and they tried,
Mhm.
but Apollo Crews was not winning the title. He showed a lot of fire, but we knew Apollo was going to fall short to Braun. What surprised me in this NXT, Grayson Waller. Grayson
Yes.
Waller has come a tremendous way himself,
Yep.
and he won the damn freaking first ever Iron Survivor match, and I ruled him out. I was figuring Carmelo was finally going to be pushed to challenge.
You're not
for
the only
freaking
one.
title.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? That's my what the fuck moment. More than the New Day
Yeah.
being pretty deadly. That made Josh Mansfield say what the fuck, but that's a whole different story. Sorry, Josh. I'm pretty sure nobody saw that coming. Pretty deadly freaking losing to the New Day because all
I saw it coming.
Yeah.
Damn it, Chris.
And he didn't
Hey,
tell us.
I picked the New Day. I knew the New Day was going
You
to
didn't do
be-
nothing. You guessed based on experience. So,
No.
again, NXT, no, you shut up. NXT
Well,
UK talent
It's
floundered, friggin' flattened, friggin' short-handed, yet again with Ina Dragonoship and the NXT champion. Damn it! And I
Right.
stand on that grave in that triple threat match. But
it's like as I said, and a New Day. You had to give it to them because
and they lost
they
against
did. It's a triple crown thing,
that
you know.
too.
And not only that, but Kofi, he's never won a title in NXT.
No,
This gives him one more title on his resume.
yeah,
you know, and
Kofi
it's just-
last one.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The reason I chose the New Day at NXT Deadline is because at NXT Vengeance Day, they're going back on the road
Charlotte.
to
Yep.
Charlotte.
North
and
Carolina.
And that's why if you have the New Day win the NXT Tag Team Champions, is because of the ticket sales, and the New Day are a marquee
Recognized
name,
name.
Yes.
recognized name, and the New Day could bring draw to the event. That's why I picked the New Day at
Yeah.
Deadline.
Yeah, and they
Makes
just
sense.
lost to the Usos. They weren't going to have them lose back to back, but just something told me that you could have just got disqualification. It's like,
Well,
really?
the word not losing back to back. You want to talk about that? Whoever thought FTR was going to lose back to back matches twice? Acclaimed Briscoes. Who would have thought that was going to happen?
And they're both title matches, and they have another title match coming up at Wrestle Kingdom January 4th against
Yeah.
Bishamon for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. They're falling titles one at a time. And don't forget, they're still Triple Crown champions, too. It's like FTR, literally, this
Hey.
is their last ride, considering Dustin, he's literally finishing out wrestling, and
Yep.
God bless the natural in his career, and of course, the
Yes.
family name. But anyway, going back to NXT, this NXT, which again, I do find tolerable. Triple threat match was definitely my NXT match of the year. I was out of my damn seat for that. For me,
Mhm.
though, again, between Worlds Collide and Deadline, I can't decide which one of those that I did like better. I mean, again, Michael Satomura, Mandy Rose beat Michael Satomura in a match. You freaking kidding me? And Blair Davenport in the same picture.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. Tyler Bate, Braun Breaker. I think I did like that better than Apollo Crews and Braun Breaker. So I feel like even with the pointless women's tag match, yeah, I think I will give it to Worlds Collide just a little bit over Deadline because, again, I feel like Braun Breaker's last time match kind of fell a little flat. But again, if this Iron Survivor challenge becomes a tradition in this NXT, I'm okay with it. I really enjoyed the concept for what it was worth, despite the fact I mocked for what it really is. But they made it work. It was nonstop action. Hey. And honestly, everybody fought their heart out till the damn buzzer. And that's what it was about. And when was the last time you saw a match with a clock that counted up versus counted down?
Exactly.
That was also a different take. But yeah, I feel like for me, it's going to be Worlds Collide followed by Deadline. Triple threat match of the year. Key player, again, between Braun Breaker getting this title and having an iron grip on it, coming into his own, showing how much heart still needs to grow in promo game. Let's just put that out there. I still feel like my overall favorite male performer, it's got to be Carmelo, because he just does not freaking miss. The fact he has not challenged yet for the NXT World Championship shocks me. And the fact that here that Sean thinks that he's not like main roster ready, it's like, what more does this guy need to do or prove? And now he's in like a sub-filler feud going after somebody else. I don't know. He needs to challenge for the title next year and become champion for the next year, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Female? Okay. Look, this one's tough for me because you know about pro wrestling, but I understand stability, sustainability, and a good, in the word toxicity. Mandy Rose got the shaft because of what she chose to do on behalf of financial gain. And when you think about what WWE used to be, as I look at Trish Stratus off to my left, I think that's utter bullshit what happened to her personally as far as the release goes. Talent change made sense because there was nobody else on that entire women's roster that could not only beat Mandy Rose, but carry themselves right now as a long-going NXT Women's Champion in their own right. Rightfully so, Roxanne Perez, the prodigy, rises to promise. So damn happy for her. But as far as female performer this year, I got to give it to Mandy Rose. One blemish. She ripped apart a pillow, looked like a child throwing a tantrum. Besides that, consistent, defending, and reigning champion. So Mandy Rose, thank you. But second, it's got to be Roxanne for me since she's come into the brand.
Now, before you go on, 250 grand in a month. That's what she's making on the site. 250 grand a month.
Wow.
Not a year, a month. She's charging $40 per prescription. 250 grand a month.
Well, I mean, you use the gifts that the Lord gave you. Hey, yo.
Times that by 12. Do you really think that WWE is paying her what she's making more money doing what she's doing now, to be honest, I think. To be honest with you.
It's one of those things where I almost wonder, again, Mandy Rose, do you care more about that or do you care more about wrestling? While you did dedicate yourself to both. But again, that's not my...
You will see her. I can give you one word of where you're going to see her next. Impact.
I've heard the interests, and Giselle Shaw and Mandy Rose screams tag team to me. But anyway, by the way, Killer Kelly, future champion. That being said, back to NXT. Creeds have fairly impressed me. They've definitely been my tag team because, again, they weren't here for the whole year. I think Dallas got screwed in that suspension deal, and they should have been the tag champs instead of Pretty Deadly. I will go on that mountain until I die because Gallus Boy's on top. But I do see potential in the likes of Fallon Henry if she gets past this bar business narrative, the former Tessa Price. And as far as tag teams go, there's still some tag teams that I'm like, ugh. But as far as packages, this schism thing that Joe Gacy's doing now with The Rock's daughter, for what it's worth, it is working. And Joe Gacy did impress the hell out of me. Can't believe I'm saying this. During the Iron Survivor match, JJ is never going to let me live this shit down. I hope he's not watching this video. But yeah, I mean, Joe, you both shut up. Don't tell him. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I got to give it to Joe Gacy and what he's done with the presentation and those that he is rolling with. Though I still think the Dr. Shelby smile sticker thing is a completely stupid gimmick, but I stand by that. And JD, that proverbial chip, keeps carrying him. He makes the show about him. So I do see a lot of promise next year in this white and gold NXT. Just come up with better names. And let's also put this in perspective. We talk about NXT, guys. Don't forget, next year kicks off NXT Europe.
Yes.
And we have no idea who's going to be a part of that or where it will start.
Well, it won't be Trent Seven because we saw him on Dark, so we know what's going on there.
And he'll be on Rampage tonight against Dustin. That's gonna be fun.
Yep. Before you go, I did leave out one team. You might agree with me on this one, Noah. One team that I'd really, really watch in 2023, and they've had an amazing 2022, considering that I didn't know who the hell they were, but I've come to really like them. Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. These two are like they mesh really well. I think they were just thrown together as a team.
Yeah, they're oddballs.
But they do so well. I mean, they made it to the finals to challenge the NXT Tag Team Champions.
I had them eliminated in the freaking opening round.
So did I. So they are definitely a dark horse team, and I think that 2023 they're going to come into their own. They're really going to shine, I think.
I think Ivy Nile and Tina Paxley are also going to shine. Ivy Nile was the first woman on this NXT, even during Skittles brand. I was like, she's got the most potential because she has the biggest heart. And we even saw her face Margaret tomorrow for the NXT UK Women's Championship. I feel like her and Tatum can definitely get on the same page, and we're constantly seeing that growth in chemistry. And maybe even could challenge for the tag team championships. We saw what happened in the tag match with Toxic Attraction. That all went to hell. But again, Toxic Attraction, if they ruin that act, biggest mistake in WWE NXT this era of history. So I do hope that they do figure all that out. And Cora Jade taking them under her wing, maybe giving them a different identity. That'd be interesting. But but Gigi Dolan, former Priscilla Kelly, she has always shined. She was the one that owned it in what some people call the weirdest War Games match in NXT history when it was, Battle of the Toxic versus Raquel. But that's a whole different story. But yeah, I see a lot of promise. Can't believe I'm saying this. I see a lot of promise, and I actually do have some interest now in this NXT after what I saw at Deadline and the fact that Roxanne is champion. There I said, JJ, I'm still not watching it weekly. Not there yet. Still some dumb stuff. High school drama bullshit. But anyway. Also, yeah, so main roster. I mean, again, Gunther. Damn, I can't believe I fucking said his name.
Oh, you
Walter,
just said it.
Sheamus.
I know. Write it on the calendar.
No
Noah said Gunther.
No one can timestamp that. They'll forget it. Anyway, Walter versus Sheamus. Stupid doing name conventions. Fuck that. That was definitely my match of the year. Show of the year. I gotta give it to War Games. Survivor Series War Games literally brought me back into main PLEs in the highest capacity of storytelling and absolute enjoyment. Dwayne Atkinson, good to see you, my friend. Happy holidays to you. Thank you for participating in all the leagues. Looking forward to you participating again 2023. Maybe you could join one of our panel videos. Don't worry, I'll share the leaderboards on Twitter after this too, and maybe on Facebook on my private group. I don't know. I'll figure out something. But yeah, I got to give it to, like I said, Walter and Sheamus, match of the year, show of the year, Survivor Series War Games, tag team of the year. Look, tag team in wrestling is FTR for me, but tag team in WWE, you can't argue against the Bloodline. It's the Usos. Even with the dumb Jeff Jarrett cameo at SummerSlam and the controversial finish at Money in the Bank, being the New Day record, that's a big milestone. And that was the one last tag team I thought that could beat them. With this idea of changing the narrative to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, though, what a moment that would be at WrestleMania. I feel like WrestleMania will be the day the Usos lose the titles, and I will stand by that. Male wrestler of the year, I know Roman Reigns is the guy, despite the fact he hasn't had the most matches, but he still is the most predominant force guiding the WWE television. It's got to be Roman Reigns for me. You can't argue with the guy. But workhorses, got to give it to Cody Rhodes for just why in God's name would you wrestle with something like that? That goes above and beyond anybody I've ever seen in the WWE. And John Cena once wrestled with a baseball in his elbow against Daniel Bryan for the championship, all right? So, yeah, it's got to be Cody. But Seth freaking Rollins, he's been my workhorse of Monday Night Raw right there with Kevin Owens, despite the fact that he has worn worst wardrobe fashions that I've seen in my life. Can't argue with the man's work ethic. Rising Star, I mean, right now, it's weird for me to say this, but looking at what I've seen lately, especially since he's finally gotten away from doing selfies, I got to go with Austin Theory. Austin Theory freaking regained the United States Championship, taking himself seriously about daggum time. Paul Heyman guy brought in literally from Evolve Pro Wrestling, and now with a proverbial chip on his shoulder to prove to everybody why he is the best, not just because somebody endorsed him since Daddy's gone. I feel like he's going to ride this character for a long time. So I really can't argue with what I've seen lately. Like I said, the better half of WWE's 2022 has re-engagement in the product. You returns like Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, while Damage Control has been kind of on oscillating road of momentum. Again, Bayley leading by example, while Dakota Kai, I feel like, has the most potential to break out from this group, especially if Kana comes back and you get Kana versus Io Sky and Kana destroys her. Just saying. Rhea Ripley, future Raw Women's Champion once again. She has been the character on Monday Night Raw, what she has done lately with freaking Dominic. I do love the fact, though, you are getting more faction warfare on SmackDown, which you will see tonight in that triple threat. But Sarah Logan and the War Raiders now, or Valhalla, as they call her now, I'm kind of interested to see how far this goes. And if this somehow does mean that they will challenge the Usos for the titles, it could be an interesting way to take the direction again up to maybe Royal Rumble. But Also, Ricochet going for a circle against Walter for the Intercontinental Championship again. Why it was highly undersold last time. Triple H guiding this. These two are going to have a hell of a match tonight, but I don't see Walter losing that title. Walter's been the most predominant Intercontinental Champion since, can't believe I'm saying this, The Miz. So I'm just going to put it out there. And yeah, with what Triple H has done so far, the product is definitely has been a fresh coat of paint for the most part. So that's just some of my takeaways. And yeah, that to call it best is its own class. That match will stay its own class because of what Cody's own well-being was going in and still was afterwards after 30 damn minutes. But yeah, I agree. I think that he's going to have a much more promising and engaging 2023. But I don't think it fully will start until Raw has their champion on their show and SmackDown has theirs. The Universal Undisputed Championship moniker needs to end at WrestleMania, one way or another. But thank you, WWE 2022 Fall Through Winter. You re-engaged a fan in me, even in NXT. And that was
not your NXT.
Oh, no, trust me, it's still not my NXT, but it's a more tolerable NXT.
Right.
And I'll give it that much credit. Okay, so what's this Reign got here? What happens to Roman Reigns when he loses the title? Will he direct to get a rematch or take a hiatus? Well, considering Roman wants to go to Hollywood, let's just put this out there. The journey of a WWE superstar is make money, become a champion, go to Hollywood. Because in WWE, a superstar is not just defined by the ring. They're defined by other projects they find fun and noteworthy. It's the reason why a lot of the people that you used to watch are in Hollywood or retired on a Legends contract for a cameo appearance. Brock Lesnar. But then again, Brock Lesnar, the fact that he can be himself now, I can't believe Brock Lesnar's been the most entertaining thing in WWE's last decade. So
I think personally he's got to take a break. I mean, he's been 2+ years as champion. Take a break, a well-needed vacation.
And don't stretch yourself too far, considering again this guy still has in remission. Let's keep this perspective. This guy literally is doing everything he can while still having some of that plagues his body that could catch him at any time. He's carried this company, this championship, this industry on his back for the better part of 3 years. He deserves a well-earned, long overdue break. And it will be nice to see Triple H try and find a spot or somebody to fill that spot on both shows. WrestleMania, in my opinion, is the true reset of WWE under Triple H. It has to be for the sake of both brands and for the sake of NXT, which he barely has anything to do with anymore. Chris, what's your thoughts towards that question?
My thoughts on that question is, yeah, WrestleMania is going to probably be where Roman's going to drop one of his titles.
Right.
And here's how I can see it happening. We're going to get Cody Rhodes and The Rock facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So
triple threat.
I don't see a triple threat.
Nah, I don't see him doing that. That'd be too.
That would be
the problem with that, Chris. The problem with that, Chris. I just don't know how they could pull that off because you got to consider this: WrestleMania is still 2 days. You don't want one match to undersell the other, and I feel like the biggest thing they're trying to sell at WrestleMania is still Roman Reigns versus The Rock. If Cody Rhodes beats Roman night 1. What does that do to Roman heading into night 2, let alone the fans' perspective of him? They got to tread cautiously with this.
Here's my thing about this. I believe we're going to have Roman versus The Rock on night 1 of WrestleMania. I feel that's going to be happening for the Universal Championship. Then night 2 comes around. You have Roman versus Cody. Where Cody finally dethrones Roman for the WWE Championship I know everybody's going to say, does the champion need to be on the line at WrestleMania with
I still
Roman
say
versus
no.
The Rock? I don't see it. And I know WrestleMania, we haven't even hit the road to WrestleMania, so plans could change. Either way, if it does happen that The Rock and Roman for the Universal title, Roman's going to retain. Then you go into night 2. Cody wins the WWE champion. There you go. Then, sorry about that. My dog is downstairs giving me a headache.
Yeah, that tends to happen with those type of things.
But if you want a guy on SmackDown to be the top champion and be a full-time champion, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to give that top champion to Drew McIntyre. I believe if Roman keeps one of his champions, that's the Universal Championship after WrestleMania, and when they do the WWE draft, I see Drew McIntyre staying on SmackDown. I would build Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns one final time. Have one more match. Have it for the championship that Drew McIntyre has never held, and that was the Universal Championship. Even if they do it, just say SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
I would say SummerSlam be the perfect way to close out Roman Reigns' title reign, and you have Drew McIntyre finally do it. Have Drew McIntyre finally be the guy, dethrones Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, and then Roman, he could take time off. He could take the time that he needs, spend some time with his family, and maybe even come back. If it's not the rest of 2023, he could come back 2024 on maybe a reduced schedule. And
schedule. That's for damn sure.
And he'll be good for the road to WrestleMania, and then we'll have to see where it goes from here.
Well, considering that, go ahead, Jeff.
I like what he said about Drew winning the Universal title. However, I think that it is going to happen on both nights of WrestleMania. I think that he's going to drop to Drew on night 1 for the Universal title. He is going to drop to Cody on night 2 at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Then he can have his vacation.
I don't see it.
No, I don't see it going.
The Rock and Roman's not having a WrestleMania.
No.
He's focusing on the titles.
I'm focusing on the title. I think that each title will be lost on a different night. I think The Rock will appear. I don't think you're really going to. I don't think you're going to see Rock versus Roman. I don't really want to see Rock versus Roman. To be completely honest, I like this head of the table thing with Roman. Keep him on it. Rock actually likes it. In an interview he did, he actually likes what Roman and the Bloodline are doing right now. So he doesn't really want a part of this head of the table thing when it comes to that title. But I could see Roman losing to Drew on night 1 and losing to Cody on night 2, and Cody finally getting a belt that the WWE nixed his father for. And now he would have the title at WrestleMania, the WWE Championship title his father never held because he never got that opportunity. And this would be the icing on the cake for his career. And that's why I think that is going to happen at night 2, which I will agree with. But I think that Drew, being the opponent of Roman, will be at night 1.
So I wonder if, honestly, based on Roman's psyche and how pissed he would he pull a WrestleMania 35 on the night 2 and challenge Cody in the opener, knowing that Cody is his challenger, and you get that rush start, but instead of a rushed match, you still get that compelling match, but again, you see Cody go through hard times before the bell, test his well-being, and still have a opening 20-minute bout with Roman
Mhm.
Reigns to get the championship. But that would also mean that you would need a huge main event to
Exactly.
end night 2, which means you would have to have, I would think, the women coming in that. And I wonder if that would be your biggest match, which I have to imagine at this point, it's got to be either Bianca Belair or Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. It's one of those things where, again, I see what you're talking about, but how do you preserve that suspension of
Right.
disbelief between the two nights for Roman Reigns? But I do like the way you all are booking this because, again, Roman versus Rock, what is Roman versus Rock at the heart besides just saying, I am the true tribal chief, I'm the head
Right.
of the table, but really of the Onai family? Is that even necessary at this point, especially if he's just going to go part-time and literally work with the man prior on Hollywood? I don't
Mhm.
think so. This was all a Vince McMahon play at this point. And yeah, it's a marketing strategy, but at the end of the day, what's on your marquee right now? Nothing. And the WrestleMania is going to sell based on name value alone and locale. It's already has. So I don't think you need Roman Reigns versus The Rock. I really don't
No.
think you do, but I do think at minimum you need Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, and Cody needs to win a belt too. So
Mhm.
I do like the way that both of you are actually thinking, because this has been on my mind for quite a little while as well. But again, as far as WWE goes, not even talking about the women, Bianca Belair, again, she is the ST, but need her versus Rhea Ripley. But I'm curious if this is finally where we see Bliss fully turn and join Bray Wyatt, the first member of the so-called Wyatt Six, after this program with LA Knight ends. And maybe that's how you bring Bliss into this on behalf of Bray Wyatt to beat LA Knight, who LA Knight might beat the daylights out of him because Bray's like, why are you doing this with me? Stop it. Or I like this, do this to me. Because again, pain, pleasure, play, whatever it is. The Wyatt Six has to be coming ahead sooner rather than later, or Uncle Howdy in some sort of manifestation, because I'm getting tired of the whole suspension of disbelief promo thing, just to tie everything together, because brand split, LOL. Raw and SmackDown right now don't necessarily have that separated brands of interests, because we've seen the most interesting thing coexist across both shows, and that right now is the Bloodline. Let's go ahead and look at these comments real quick before we move on from there, but great booking ideas. Making a bold prediction. I think Braun Breaker is going to get Finn Balor run and win the world title immediately after he debuts. Well, he's already been on the main roster, but I do see what he's talking about as far as maybe that'd be like a WrestleMania moment. Could we see Drew and Roman doing a double turn if the two face off again? Drew McIntyre's face, as far as I'm concerned, he's the top baby face of the company. He ain't turning again because Roman Reigns is not going to humble himself to be less than what the WWE Universe already acknowledges him as. And Dwayne says, I'd rather see Bianca and Charlotte at Mania. So it sounds like Bianca Belair for Charlotte Flair could be the bigger selling point for the WWE faithful at WrestleMania. But for the sports and main ambitious world, it's Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch, the one that never happened, the bigger selling match as well. What's y'all's thoughts towards that? What should be the women's championship match at WrestleMania? And should it be on night 1 or night 2?
I personally would love to see a women's title match main event night 2. Bianca Belair was on did an interview. I think it was on on Broken Skull, where she said that she had been main evented night 1.
Yes.
Now she wants to main event night 2.
And it's the whole thing off.
That and you know, you can't argue her wanting to do that. I mean, she enjoyed night 1, but night 2 was the night that everyone really remembers. She wants to be in that spotlight in that main event of WrestleMania, but it has to be a match worthy of beating out all the others, worthy of knocking a potential main event match to the first match of the night. And that's where you're talking about Roman versus Cody. Exactly. It's got to be bigger than Roman versus Cody. So if you want Bianca versus Charlotte, it has potential, but I wouldn't go that route. Honestly, if she can get her shit together, I wouldn't mind main eventing Rousey versus Lynch. Personally.
Never happened.
But, I mean, there's just so many things that you can do, especially with Belair, that, you know, Charlotte is an option, you know, Bayley is an option, She has options over there, but I would personally put Rousey Lynch if Rousey can get her shit together. Because what we saw on SmackDown a couple weeks ago, or just actually just period recently, what we've seen out of her, especially at Survivor Series, that is not main event worthy. No, she's got to really turn this corner and get her shit together in order for her to ever think about main eventing. And I would like to see Rousey main eventing because she is a main event worthy person. She is a well-known name both in and out of the WWE.
Yep.
So having someone that well-known main eventing could possibly boost the ratings of the pay-per-view. You got to have the right match, and you got to have everyone having their shit together in order for it to work.
So with that being said, yeah, it's a fair point, Jeff, but I also say this, and Chris can rebound off this. Has Ronda Rousey at this point, which she's already done that, maybe it's just content. It almost feels like right now she's at a comfort state with Shayna Baszler, because they are the two most legitimate, dangerous women in the WWE that could break somebody if they wanted to say, kayfabe be damn, screw you all, and you're fake, because that's, she thinks that, LOL. I'm going to break this person legitimately. And I even heard that Ronda would not mind one thing she hasn't done yet, a tag run. And we talked about Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey coming together as a tag team. The most lethal, legitimate tag team in all of women's wrestling in the WWE. So, honestly, Chris, do you think Ronda Rousey wants to main event WrestleMania as a singles champion, or is she just content with what she is and maybe just wants to maybe coast some point as a tag team champion? What's your thoughts?
Well, I would love for Ronda to main event WrestleMania. I don't know. Personally, I would love to have it maybe on night 1 of WrestleMania, Ronda versus Becky. Or maybe they could swerve us and have Shayna Baszler be the one to take on Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Because under Triple H's vision of WWE, I would love to have Ronda versus Shayna. I feel everybody wants to see it. Even our friend from No DQ, Big Baller G, I think he wants to see Ronda versus Shayna happen.
It was teased at the Rumble for a quick second before Charlotte Flair came in and broke that up. So again, especially just the wave, you might be onto something.
I feel that could happen. Bianca and Charlotte. Here's the thing. Why Charlotte? I know Charlotte has been teasing a WWE return, and she's going to definitely be returning. But under Triple H's vision, and I know, and I'm going to bring this up, I know Vince, he booked Charlotte to keep on winning champions after champions after champions after champions, and it was getting sick and tired of it. I was actually getting sick and tired that Charlotte was keep coming back, keep getting championship opportunities, get handed championships that she didn't deserve. There's a lot of talent out there that deserves to be in a championship match. Charlotte, on the other hand, she's a Flair. She has a last name for a reason. She's a Flair.
I'd agree.
And personally, I understand Triple H and Ric Flair, they were part of Evolution. And I know those two are really close together. And this is the thing. If Charlotte comes back and possibly get a championship match and handed a championship, then it's basically the same exact thing we're going to be seeing is Triple H going to give Charlotte championship after championship after champion. But I don't see that happening. Charlotte is going to have to earn championship matches under Triple H's vision of WWE. That's why I would love to see Bianca and Rhea happen instead of Bianca versus Charlotte, because I believe Rhea has what it takes to become a Raw Women's Champion.
And she has yet to win the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber.
True.
And I personally believe, and I am going to make this announcement right here, she is going to be my first pick in the Royal Rumble match.
You may want to hold off on that just to make sure
I'm
she
holding
doesn't get
off.
injured again.
I'm holding off, but I think Rhea needs to win the Royal Rumble and face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. But if Charlotte comes back, I would possibly do a triple threat match with Bianca, Rhea, and Charlotte. But overall, we still got a long way to go to be on the road to WrestleMania. So we got to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm about to say, and we don't even have a December Premium Live event. Again, the next show that starts the road to WrestleMania again will be the Royal Rumble. And personally, I feel like at WrestleMania, like when it comes to Wrestle Kingdom or AEW All Out, you have the championship in the main event against the single top worthy competitor. The most highest of stakes under the simplest of circumstances at the grandest stage. It's not rocket science. I think I'm over multi-person world championship affairs across all companies at this point. Unless it's like tag team. Then I could tolerate a bit more. But that's the thing. And Dwayne, by the way, hot take, he says Raquel, who faced Ronda Rousey one time, I believe in her SmackDown in-ring debut when Ronda Rousey was champion. So that's not a bad draw either. Again, high ups, big stock on her. So again, that's very possible. And again, folks, the league for 2023, it literally kicks off at the Royal Rumble. So stay tuned to No DQ and stay tuned to my Sibling YouTube channel too, where me and this panel and who knows who else will be simply predicting this wild 30-man and woman melee as we begin the road to WrestleMania. Saturday, January 28th. The predictions video will likely be the Friday, the day before, because of scheduling.
Right.
But the bottom line is this. We have very bright and big ambitions for not only WWE, but even NXT in 2023. And I say so far, WWE ended very strong in 2022, as well as the industry has ended very strongly, I feel like, for 2022.
I do want to...
hold on, Jeff. Let me go ahead and put this out here. Dwayne, if you want to be a part of the City Predicting Fun too, Christopher Rotz is the panel organizer. He will add you to the group chat, and I will keep you all informed as he gets y'all schedules too. So again, we'll see what we can do, because I welcome any voice, male or female, on this panel. Even if you're camera shy, that's all right. I just want to hear your takes, your opinions, your energy, your fandom, because it's all about enjoying life and enjoying wrestling. That is simply predicting. At the heart, it's as simple as that. So definitely looking forward to hopefully having you on one of these panels. If not, nothing else, the Royal Rumble to kick us off in 2023. But Jeff, you also have a thought?
Yeah, there's one person that I want to put out there as far as wrestling goes. I actually subscribe to the Pro Wrestling TV app on my Fire Stick, and I am now watching MLW. MWL, yeah. Alexander Hammerstone. Yeah. Keep your eyes on this one. He's only been champ for a couple months, and he has been outstanding. He's got I can't remember. It's big, tall, black dude. I can't remember what his name was, and I can't pronounce it even if I wanted to. EJ something or something like that. He's facing him. They just had a heck of a fight where they both went through tables, and Hammerstone ended up with a hole in his bottom lip.
Yeah, I heard about that. Hammerstone's no joke. He and Jacob Fatu are forces to be reckoned with.
Yes, absolutely. And so he's gonna be definitely one of those people to watch, I think, in 2023, out of any of the organizations out there. So I'm definitely giving MWL their props. I'm liking what they're doing. I've heard all these raves and rants about them. Alexander Hammerstone, man, he is something to watch. If you haven't seen his stuff, YouTube it, check it out. If you have the Fire Stick like I do, Pro Wrestling TV app, has MWL. I got to make sure I don't confuse it with my league.
Hey, don't confuse it with yours, man.
Yeah.
Rot.
I know. But check out the stuff because this is one up and coming company. I think they're going to be on the rise this year coming up. Maybe even get a TV deal. That they're that good.
Yeah,
They're
they finally
that
got
good.
themselves firm footing, I think, on Vice and on
Yeah.
YouTube with the former Lucha Underground manager, Dario Cueto, now leading things with much more of a Lucha Libre background, this company as a whole. But you think about Alicia, too. You think about La Vera Loca, Taya
Mhm.
Valkyrie. Yeah, this company is definitely one to watch out for. It's a diamond in the rough, I feel like, in a way. I also want to give a shout out to other companies that definitely have taken my interest. Capital Championship Wrestling, the all-women's promotion here, led by, of course, Ohio's own Kylan King as their network and world champion, inaugural world champion. Still, kudos to Kylan King, highly underrated name, rising star in the independent scene. In and out everywhere. NWA, Mission Pro, CCWFL, trained by the Dudleys and Gangrel. Thank you to Capital Championship Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. They've had a very unique year spanning across Impact and the Forbidden Door, AEW, and of course, celebrating Antonio Inoki and celebrating the 50th year. Looking very forward to Wrestle Kingdom. And again, when it comes to NWA, Camille is NWA. Camille is professional wrestling. 1X for a reason. Highly underrated. Thank you, Camille. I honestly don't know who could beat the Brick House unless her name's Kylan King, but I'm waiting for that one-on-one to happen. Dwayne did also bring up another name. Talk about the NWA. Another name to look out for, I think, and might debut, Nick Aldis.
Rumble.
Yeah,
now,
Rumble.
That would be interesting. Nick Aldis
Would not surprise me.
No, it would not surprise me at all. And honestly, if Mickie James doesn't win at Hard to Kill, that might be literally a cameo. Because if she is true to her word, if she loses against Jordan Grace, she is done with professional wrestling. And that says a lot for someone like Mickie James, just freaking saying. So again, we'll have to wait and see. But again, 2022, it was the most phenomenal, controversial, game-changing year for the professional wrestling industry. I feel like 2023 will be a lot more too. And when it comes to Cindy predicting, all the leagues will be rebooted. They will kick off once again with whatever the first week of our pay-per-view will be. But in order, we have Impact kicking off first with Hard to Kill. So stay tuned for me and Jerry Slaughter, the Simple Impactful Duo. And then the WWE League kicks off with these gentlemen and maybe Mark and maybe a new face, based on what I heard in the chat. With, of course, the Royal Rumble. So stay tuned for more on that. And, of course, the All Elite League will kick off once again when it is televised, it started, and it continues. But now it's on the West Coast. AEW Revolution. And these three shows will start off the inaugural City Predicted Leagues of 2023. So stay tuned for more on that. And again, congratulations to everybody that participated. I hope you all had a great, fun time. Congratulations to all the winners across the board in WWE, in Impact Wrestling, in AEW. It certainly has been a very compelling, engaging, competitive year, to say the least. And I thank all of you. And honestly, I just hope that it encourages you all to keep enjoying the industry for what it's worth, too. But I feel that's a good way to conclude 2022. So before we bid each other adieu to the next time we're on video in 2023, gentlemen, thank you again. Congratulations, Christopher Rotz, on winning the entire No DQ Galaxy and team. You are the king of the league for 2022. We will see what happens with you in 2023. But is there anything you want to plug and promote, and where can people find you?
Well, it's been a pleasure being on here. I hope you guys have a great Christmas. I hope you guys have a great New Year's. If you're driving, get to your destination safely.
Right.
Hope you have an amazing holiday season. Where you guys could find me at is my Instagram is CMROTZ_6472. My Twitter is uppercase CR lowercase OTZ24. My Snapchat is C_Rod17. My Facebook is Christopher Rods. It's always been a pleasure. I want to thank you guys for the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be on this year, and helping me get through all my ups. all of my downs that I have went through this whole year, losing my best friend that I work with, finding out that my mom has stage 1 breast cancer. She's gonna beat breast cancer, and there's no doubt in my mind that God will be on her side. Got hacked on my social media accounts this year.
That's just a problem for everybody. Let's just put that
Yeah.
out there.
That was also a bad time. But hey, I was able to be here, and personally, God will definitely find me a girl one day, and help me out and put my best foot forward. And personally, I had an amazing time with you guys in 2022. 2023 is going to be an amazing year. I have no doubt in my mind. And let's get everybody's, whoever's in all of different predictions league, let's have 2023 be the year of Forbidden Door. Let's have a Forbidden Door panel for all the pay-per-views, all the premium live events for WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW. If you want to get on these panel videos, 2023, we are opening the Forbidden Door. You are allowed to come on and be a part of the No DQ Galaxy, and just hit us up if you want in the group chat. Let me know, and I'll put you in there, and we'll get everybody's schedules. And let's just have a great time in 2023, and let's start 2023 off with a good year for everybody.
Amen to that, brother. And again, make sure you also consult, of course, with the team as far as the people go, because I know everybody has different feelings towards certain individuals. You also learn more about individuals from other individuals based on they don't know. And again, it's one of those things where when it comes to people, always proceed with caution, because there are those that are genuine, and there are those that are, in a way, toxic or tribal. Just saying. But thank you for that. And also maybe a little bit in over their heads when it comes to themselves. For Pete's sake, check your ego at the back door, and don't build a bot to support your self-claims. Sheesh. Anyway, thank you, Chris. Jeff, again, man, always a pleasure. It's been a hell of a 2022. I know we got an even bigger 2023. Maybe you can encourage some of the people on your roundtables, like Paige, like Dr. Brad Farm. I know he's also dealing with work and scheduling stuff. We appreciate you, Doc, because I know you were also on one of these videos. Maybe you could also spread the word out to people in your league. Of course, I'm part of it too, as I think I'm the world champion, if I remember correctly, which I did see coming.
You are MWL champion.
Well, I'll do my best. I'm the Tanahashi. I'm the spirit. That being said, thank you again, my friend, and GG. And again, I'll see you in 2023. But anything you want to plug about, where can people find you?
Find me, well, there it is right there. Meltdown on Facebook. Hit us up on there. I'm running MWL League, and we're going into it's the road to the Royal Riot. During this whole thing here, we have officially got our 40 competitors. We got our 40th competitor like 5 minutes ago. So now we get to find out where people enter, and in this Royal Riot that we got going on, and who might face this guy right up here, possibly for the championship. If that's the one they choose to go for, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we're almost halfway through the season. We got our trade happening after week 12, and all X's are square, erased from the board. So as you know, we're on a 3-strike basis. All X's get erased after the draft or after the trade deadline. And we've got an interesting second half of the season coming up, and it's never too late to join, whether it be No DQ League, whether it be any other wrestling league out there. If you want to predict, hit us up, and we'll get you in there. And it's, I came in late on the AEW League, and I actually surprised myself of how well I did coming in halfway through.
You did, actually. You did.
I think that was last year. Last year, it was I came in kind of like halfway through, and Yeah, but it's all in good fun. I mean, that's all. It's really fun. It's a chance to mingle with your fellow wrestling fanatics and have a great time, doing so. And that's why I love these leagues. I mean, if it wasn't for these leagues, I myself have been going through hard times, just like Chris has gone through hard times recently. I mean, over the last 5-6 years, my sister was diagnosed with a sarcoma tumor, and she's currently beating the hell out of it. Yes, thank goodness. But over the last few months, now my brother-in-law has brain cancer, and he is currently kicking the crap out of it and coming back. So it's been rough, and so definitely support. Everybody knows people that's going through cancer. It's one of those diseases that I wish never was around, but unfortunately, it's something that everybody has come across in one way or another. Support those. Show them that you love them. Show them you support them, and donate. If you've got any kind of organizations that has to do with cancer, donate, because every little bit helps. And in the search to find the end for this deadly disease. So, this has been an amazing year with you. I cannot wait to see what 2023 is going to bring for the No DQ panel and the Four Horsemen. And I'm got a little side bet here. Why don't we do this? Me versus Chris versus you versus Mark. The Four Horsemen. Which one at the end of 2023 will be the best of the Four Horsemen? I want to lay this challenge out to the three of you.
What does the winner get?
Are you talking about just one company, or do you want to combine WWE and AEW?
Combine everything.
Everything?
Oh my! This is
I'm throwing it all on the table. I'm throwing it all on the table. I think I've gotten more into more in AEW, more into Ring of Honor. He's getting more into this, more into that. You're getting more into this. I think this is a golden opportunity for all four of us, just the four of us, to see which one of us is going to come out the winner. And you, the No DQ Galaxy, who do you think would come out on top? Would it be Noah? Would it be Chris? Would it be Griffith? Or would it be me? Let's see what you guys think.
Chris, Jeff, make a poll on your league. Make a poll on your Twitter. Challenge accepted.
Awesome.
The Four Horsemen of Simply Predicting in everything combined. Truly an ATW gauntlet. WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor, AEW, and Impact Wrestling. Winner take all at the end of the year. Highest score wins. You got it.
Awesome. And I don't have any shirts I can give you if you win. I mean, I might be able to give the shirt off my back, but then
I'm sure we'll figure out something. We'll all just come together with a pull.
Yeah.
Towards maybe a
shirt,
custom-made trophy or a belt or something. I like this idea a lot.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
When will I be able to open up my shirt? The day of the Royal Rumble? Oh,
our panel.
Our first panel 2023 was really the Royal Rumble. Again, you need to send me a link to 3 shirts you want. I will randomly pick one, and then you just have to send me your address, and that's it. Then you just got to make sure you pick the dang thing up, because the holiday season, porch pirates are still a very much thing. And you better have that shirt ready to open at the opening of the Royal Rumble, Simply Predicting panel 2023. But congratulations again. Yes. And Jeff, challenge is on. You have my word. Make sure you share that with Mark. I will make an exclusive chat with just the 4 of us regarding that, just to keep up with scores. But get a poll out there, and let's see who people believe is the better predictor in all things wrestling. Is it me? Is it Chris? Is it Jeff? Or is it Mark? Is it the Ollie Hitman? Is it the Simple No DQ Galaxy Platinum panelist? Is it the commissioner of literally his own entire league, or is it the simple commentating, predicting man on all things wrestling? You all decide. Jeff, you just threw down a hell of a year-long challenge, my friend.
I love year-long challenges. I love season challenge. I love this stuff.
2023. Or excuse me, that'd be actually Impact Hard to Kill.
Impact.
Because that's first.
Impact.
All right, let's freaking go. So again, folks, the leagues start off with Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill, followed by the Royal Rumble, and moves into AEW Revolution. Those will be the first Simply Predicting events for 2023 for the actual leagues, as of right now known.
You forgot NXT Vengeance Day on February 4th.
And Elimination Chamber on February 18th.
I did
Oh.
not know those dates or had the graphics.
Aha.
Well,
Aha.
thank you. So wait. I want to make sure I'm gonna make sure I get all
Oh,
this right
God.
now, because
You got this.
if I'm going to be a booker of something, I
Mhm.
pride myself on accuracy and accountability and data correction. There's a reason why I let you guys change your picks up to the clock hits deadline, and then I review the changed picks and recopy the entire sheet. That's
Yeah.
how I make sure that my picks are 100% accurate. And only the forms will count, because I can't keep up with 250 different chat forums that you all have to sometimes. So
It-
let's put this perspective, folks. I will be doing, this is not part of our fun, it's just to kick us into wrestling. To kick us, thank you, by the way, Jeff, for that. And folks, stay tuned for more on that. The first in the predicting panel of 2023, as I alluded to earlier, will be my intro to professional wrestling, and that will be Wrestle Kingdom Tuesday. My brain is dead thanks to Jeff. Damn it, fine. Wrestle Kingdom 17. And of course, we will follow that. Yeah, my brain's fried now. Thanks a lot. Again, we have Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill to kick off the inauguration of the Impact League. And yes, I will update the notes on this too. As the gentleman alludes to, we have the Royal Rumble in January as well to kick off the WWE Simply Predicting League. As they inform me, there is NXT Vengeance Day following that to continue the WWE League, but kick off the bridge of NXT. Then we have the Elimination Chamber in Canada, of course, continuing the WWE League, and then we kick off the AEW League ahead of WrestleMania for AEW Revolution. There is a ton of professional wrestling to look forward to and more. All will be simply predicting, analyzing, probably ranting about throughout 2023 to begin the year too. But if you folks want to know more about me, know this, for I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling, damn it! But I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and Foster 1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to my entire ATW family on Twitter. And again, you'll keep finding us all here on YouTube and all my content here too. Again, the ATW view is on indefinite hiatus until further notice till I get together with the family. Might do a year-end gathering, though, just for fun. It depends on what it's up to. We'll see. Again, I'll be doing a special Sipple preview of the Stardom Supercard Dream Queendom, culminating with Siri defending the red belt against Julia and Saya Kamatai defending the white belt, looking to surpass Mobile Watabe's record, and so much more. That is all ahead at Dream Queendom ahead of the new year. As I proclaimed earlier, Wrestle Kingdom 17 will be the first Simply Predicting video as my annual exhibition. You might see some fun faces from FTW on here, maybe some you've never seen before. And again, we talked about the other shows to come too, but there'll probably be some other content in between as well. And again, if you want to be part of any of these leagues, it's simple. Follow me on YouTube. I will post the forum links in the community tab. Follow NoDQ and say yes to NoDQ. I will always tag at NoDQ.com and also post the league forums there as well. And to the nebula, the center of the NoDQ galaxy that I do try and keep up with constantly, whether it is Scott Cater, Alex Sarkifa, Dwayne Atkinson, Mark Anderson, Mark Griffith, our fellow horseman, Ashley Reynolds, who is a queen of predictions, whether she realizes it or not. God bless her. And so many others along the way, too. Charlene, Richard Morales, Scott Mann, DJ Whitty. You guys know who you are. Brandon Ridledge. Again, there's so many of you. I can't name all of you. We'll be here all night, as long as I list of Jericho. But anyway, as I always like to conclude, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. There are just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. And it's the holidays. Give back and treasure your families. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. I can't make it simpler than that. Not even this quote I found can make it simpler than that. Where this quote says, it's so simple. It really couldn't get any more simple, but that's the point. Thank you, Haley Williams. And honestly, that quote pretty much sums me up to a T. But with that being said, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell on this video or panel. Goes live on this channel because I only do them live. Hit the bell, of course, when the next video goes live on demand on the channel or when I update my community tab. And of course, shout out to all 261 of you this limited fun. YouTuber creation journey. It's not limited anytime soon. With that being said, are you ready for a good time? Because SmackDown Live is ahead for both of you as I'm going to rest because I don't have Fox, but I will watch it later on too. For Christopher Ross, for Jeff Chadwick, for Jerry with 1,000 Names, for the yes, it's gonna be Cody. Had to bring that up one last time.
One more.
Yeah, much to Chris's happiness. For Tim Tobin, that couldn't be here, but always appreciate him. For James Hebert, for JJ Williams, for anybody that's been part of Simply Predicting, for the new faces to come, male or female, I welcome all to Simply Predicting as long as the panel all agrees and knows the person's mentality. I am the Seminole Foster, the proud leader in Simply Predicting, creator of Simply Predicting, and your booker in all things wrestling leagues. Thank you once again for tuning in. And until next time, which again, exhibition for Stardom ahead of 2023. Stay tuned for more on that. Make a positive impact always in life. Have a tremendous holiday and a happy new year. And yes, JJ, I'll plug it. Stay tuned for Open Mic Night and the Christmas caroling. And have a good night. I will not floss. I will not sing. I will simply commentate and always predict professional wrestling. Damn it. But I digress. Thank you again, everybody. And thank you, 2022. Adieu. And it's going to be Cody.
It's going to be Cody.
Yes.